We're back, and we are talking about things that just kind of ruin a game table. One being when a GM overestimates the power of the heroes at the table. That'd be kind of like my first first notation on my list. Kai, what would you want to talk about during tonight's show?
Honestly, anything, and we'll just go play by ear. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
That's true. Um, so not long ago, I had a situation where I had put too many bad guys on the table. And I think we know where this is going.
Oh yeah,
I think this is something that like a lot of people they see they do this shit they don't mean to. As a GM, it's just one of those things where like the maybe the party's fresh in your opinion, or maybe they've got a reason to do something heroic and my party was kind of upset at some things. They had an opportunity to go after somebody, but they didn't go after the infrastructure first, the putzes, the ways to block off access to this location from other spots where his allies were at, and had a real bad situation go from hey this could be an even fight to oh god this could get really disgusting here fast, and then not in the player's favor. Uh, First couple rounds, started scoring some major hits on the party. Hey, Crafting Gamer. Um, as we continue on and and are looking at how the combat was playing out, about two rounds went through, so you know I'm talking about Pathfinder. But the party's starting to already like their health is like down a third, and around the point when like most of your party's average hit points are like 50% of what they've got. They've not even started tapping resources because they're panicking and retreating, trying to get formation set up, trying to get their beefy guys in front of the big brawler, the big bruiser. And you've got a couple controller types that are over to the side and they're putting evocation spells down and they're making uh, spellcasters befuddled. That kind of happened, and it wasn't really good in the least bit. So we have a real issue to where the party is in a spot where we might lose them. And this isn't a bad thing. During a game, you want to have moments of high stress. Uh, jump in here whenever you want to interject something, Guy.
no, I'm listening. So
Party's panicking their ass off, and for a good reason. They could lose this fast. And what had happened was the party had retreated to an inn and they were having dinner and they had had a rough day. They hadn't had a chance to rest and relax and replenish themselves. They're eating food right now, and that's when the bad guys storm in. And literally, like you have three Nalfeshnis barge in through the wall. They just sunder the wall, and they're suddenly in the dining area. And then you've got other things going on inside the inn itself. Other members are being put at risk because other fast attack individuals are getting in and getting their legs real fast. The party looks like they're about ready to just get their ass handed to them. And as a DM, I wasn't really panicking that much, but I got to say that this is a situation where, as a GM, uh, I do want to have a table. And I don't want to have a game to where I got to pull back my punches or anything of that nature, but I do want to make sure that I make the party remember this setback because they retreated to a spot they thought was a safe haven, but they didn't realize that pretty much wherever you go, uh, if you go anywhere, you should always have a level of capacity. And the party wasn't like in their finest dinner where they were still in their armor, they still had their weapons by their side. But like I said, it took them like three rounds to start dishing back. And the party the whole time like started complaining like, "Hey, where's the city guard at? What's going on with the city guard?" and I'm being a kind of a dick. I had had it set up to where there would be an emergency, basically in the center of town, away from where they're at, drawing most of the city's emergency resources over there. And the party didn't know this, so they were on their own, and it was a lot of fun because I was getting a chance to actually use monsters with their special abilities and do stuff that I typically don't get to do. I usually don't get a chance to have like a round or two where I'm able to start getting licks in, and then I'm starting able to set up situations for in about a round. This is going to happen. Around these two have a flank, and around this spell can go off, and around this beacon can go off and draw more of the bad guy's allies and fuck things up. I wasn't wanting to really mess the party up, but at the same time, for the story, I wanted it to mean something because the party was so close to winning the war against the hobgoblins that already snapped the spine of the giants, and the hobgoblins were the last thing left. And we went through 6 rounds of that combat, and each round in Pathfinder is only 6 seconds. So to give you an idea of how it all was going down, it was a very fast raid that quickly got flipped back in the players' favor because they were able to mount an actual structured attack on that party. And I was kind of proud of myself because I had made my mark and I had done things, and the bad guys were not interested in dying and losing their resources. And so when they started seeing like some real pushback, they start pulling people back and start doing what they can to get their guys out and evacuate. And this is actually on my channel, which if you go back through, if you've been watching me for a while, you might even remember this. Guy, do
Right.
you remember this show?
I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah, they were able to do the right thing. They were doing stuff properly. And after about the 6th round of combat, I had everything in position to do a full retreat and vanish out of the area, which was exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to get their licks in and kind of at least establish dominance and show if they mount a strong enough attack, they could destabilize the confidence of the players and the heroes and make sure that they had at least a notice that they're still on even footing. They're not at a position of strength. And afterwards, the party's just like struggling and like, licking their wounds. Where the fuck was the city guard at? And when they find out there was another attack and about maybe 25 to 30 people died, they're like, oh shit, And it kind of hit them in the kidneys. And that was exactly the thing I kind of wanted to do. I think I might have put down 2 or 3 cohort characters, but I didn't manage to batter down any of the hero characters. Typically, the heroes are going to have higher hit points than cohorts. Only if you grab a cohort that's like a barbarian are you going to see him ramp his HP up way past where yours are. But it was a very fun fight. It actually kind of showed my players how much they are capable of doing even after they've been exhausted. And so it kind of made me feel happy. And maybe in the next couple chapters of the story, they would see things from a perspective like, we need to get this, pinched now. We need to end it. And as a GM, that's kind of always what I'm wanting to do. I want to kind of push my players to where they're not phoning it in. Oh, just summon a blade barrier. Oh, just give it a wall of fire. Oh, I'm just gonna, summon my
I'm gonna
triceratops.
I'm gonna cast heroism or
Blessing,
um what was it? What's the other spell that I hear being cast like every single battle that's just there to.
blessing and fervor.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. Blessing of Furburger. Got it.
That one always comes out. That's one of the big ones that they like to use. And I don't really complain about that because that's a really useful spell. The bad guys, if the bad guys use that spell, like that's really uh, a kind of almost a deal breaker for the party because like suddenly they're fighting somebody that's got as many fucking attacks as they do, and
Oh, I know, but it comes down to like when you know that those are the spells that are just going to be thrown out every single fight without fail. It's like, all right, everybody, like you might as well just have the okay, everyone, let's get out of the way. Buffing session. Everyone buffs up and then engages, and you're like, okay. And when you know you're the caster, the caster who that's your job pretty much for the first two turns of combat is, well, I'm here to cast heroism and blessing of fervor, and it's like, okay, and then the fight is like, and then the fight ends in two more turns after that, right? You know that, right?
Hmm.
The that it's over in 3 to 4 turns, and you just spent two of the 4 turns of being cool casting the same spell. Is like, what are you actually here to do? And that's when you realize I am a walking squeeze toy that casts buff spells that make everybody else more often. And at that point, you just kind of go, "Oh God, I really don't do much, do I? I'm just here to." You're a chew toy that just squeezes things, and then after you cast your two buff spells, all you do for the rest of the fight is, um, I cast channel positive energy, so that way everybody gets more hit points. I channel energy to get more to give everyone more hit points. What do you actually do? Absolutely fucking nothing. And no, you're very critical. You are a critical part of the adventuring machine. You really have no actual depth to your character in combat, do you? I I'm important. Yes, buff and band aid. That's really all you do. You move to the right spot. You channel, and then remember, if anyone's next to you, walk backwards and then channel. Is that really all I'm here for? Yes. You install other browsers and then we forget you exist. Thanks. I'm useless. Yes. Yes, you are. But we all pat you over the head and go, "You're a good person. We like you. You're important to us. You're what makes my damage per round go up. And you make sure I don't fall over dead. It's critical. You're critical. You're important." I'm sorry to put it in such horrible terms, but it's really what playing a cleric really it really is. Sorry, when your cleric decides to not actually play a war cleric, like, because clerics only come in three varieties: useless, healer, and I just want to show you that not all clerics are all useless healers. So I'm going to play a war machine, and then you realize all they do is just buff themselves and then hit really really hard, and you're like, oh good, we have a fighter, we have a magic, we have a paladin with a different flavor to it. Congratulations. We now have two paladins, just a paladin with extra steps. Oh, yay. Uh, I only say that because it's always funny that when I go play with other groups and then someone's like, "I'm going to show everyone that I'm a better cleric than you by playing." Let me guess, a war cleric? Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. You're super special, aren't you? I am. I'm a war cleric. I'm super duper special. J- just go over there in the other pile of clerics because there's only two flavors, and just get past it. Maybe you might get lucky to get a the cool clerics, but you're not going to see those because those are played by interesting people, and interesting people don't play clerics. Only two people play clerics: your girlfriend and the guy who gets forced to be one. That's it. That's really all there is. I want to play I want to play a caster too. Here's a cleric. Oh, okay. I'm a magical. Yes, you can go pray to your rocks and your trees and whatever other weird thing you like. Here, here's your casting component. Here's your Birkenstocks and here's your pumpkin latte, and you can have a and you can sit over there and feel like you're part of the group too. Because when combat happens, we just tell you to just cast heal. Okay, is that all you gotta do? Yes. You don't need to worry about rolling to attack. Your AC doesn't matter. You just stand there. You move 10 feet. You channel. That's all you gotta do. I'm part of the group. I'm important. Yes, you are. Congratulations. You now let everybody else figure out how to do the adventure. Or you get to have the guy who walks in late and goes, "So what's everybody? I'm sorry I'm late, guys. I had to get food after work. What's everybody playing? Oh, we already got a whole group figured out. I'm playing badass Tron, the warrior of God, and the warrior of awesomeness. I'm Thunder Thug, the barbarian. Oh, okay. So what do you do? I just yeah, okay. I don't give a shit. Um, I'm Shadow Sneak, the rogue. What are you playing? I'm playing a tree that turns into a squirrel. Okay, cool. Druid. I guess I'm going to play the cleric 'cause we need to have a cleric, right? Yeah, we need a cleric. all right, all right. I guess we're going to play a cleric. And now comes the question of healer or paladin. I'm paladin with extra steps. Yep, there you go. And we're back to, hey, we're playing a traditional D&D group. Yay. Those are the only people who play clerics. Anybody who's actually a cool cleric, roll a different class. They're playing a wizard or a sorcerer, or they're playing anything else under the sun. Because cleric is super powerful but super boring. And yes, I know. Yes, is there anything else I can add to your order? Um, can you give me a +4 to my strength, please? Yes, sure can. I'll supersize your stats for you. Boop. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, the night that I had that situation happen, I think I was just kind of upset with my party because they kept like just completely pummeling everything. And
Oh yeah.
that's a big group, but like I put figures on the board before one round is over. Like I'm pulling figures off, and I just wanted to like have one session where like it would be a memorable combat to where things would happen and like
Oh
players
yeah.
would panic, and that's as a GM, like you kind of need that sometimes because otherwise you're just playing, to put it lightly, like a game of fifth edition where it's like the players, I rolled initiative, I win. What? No, I'm going to do all my special things in a monster manual. I know the monsters you're using, they don't have special things. I've got special things. You need to die now. And that kind of frustrates me a bit. So as a GM, it's like I need to augment this because like the game feels a little lopsided to the players. It's supposed to be a game where you have challenge and high drama. You want you want things to you want people to get worried, and I can't as a GM have standard encounters because my party's not standard. My party's not the standard 4 person. We have the bard, we have the cleric, the magic user, the rogue, and the fighter.
Yep.
So that's just something that I've learned as a DM. Like, if I want to have a combat that the party panics about, I gotta fucking put enough on the table to where they're like trying to figure out what options to go with first. And throughout the combat, like there's party table talk. I get it. I think in a real situation, like they would be a lot more uncoordinated. But I think because the game is set up as it is, where the party is like talking and chatting to each other and always giving hints, like it seems like they just have a lot better chance to where they can quickly coordinate an optimized path through the combat. And that's not bad. That's also why I wrote my game the way I did, which I didn't write a single rule in it, but I assembled the various rules that I've got for the mechanics because I was tired of full round attack actions. And I don't mind that. I don't. But I know that in a standard game at my table, like, oh, well, it takes 2 rounds for the bad guy to get to the party. Well, that's 2 rounds of chance shooting like 5 arrows a turn at a bad guy and dropping his hit points 100 to 150 points per round. That's, a chance for the druid to cast a spell and throw a barrier up, or summon a monster, or Janet to bring a Triceratops out and charge said assaulting enemy and block it. So I have to do things kind of with mass numbers, and that's something I found just as a GM. I found that works out pretty good for the high drama of the table. It's not a long lasting thing because a lot of times you don't bring clerics into your opposing forces to beef up the bad guys. You typically don't, and typically clerics can handle maybe one super buff or one super replenishment. Like I will selectively channel within this radius, and these characters won't receive it. These will. And when you do that for the bad guys, like all of a sudden, like the players kind of go like, "Oh shit, we're like really fucked." But if you are able to throw high level cleric spells out, like suddenly things like destruction, harm, circle of death, and the things like that begin to happen, and the party starts reevaluating their choices, especially if you bring like three or four clerics into the fray, where it can be quite deadly, quite dangerous. I'm
I
debating on putting the party at the super dungeon Rapanathuk, though. Not the high level group, the low level group. They're at seventh level now.
so you let them go start wandering to the upper levels of it.
Yeah, and that statistically would be just a trouncing for the good guys. But I can always add a few more monsters or a few class levels here and there for something.
Right.
Make it more interesting. And with that initiative system, making it like with today's game, they had to fight that giant fucking dragon. The only reason why the dragon could not get a breath weapon off is because the barbarian literally jumped up and hooked the bottom jaw of the dragon's jaw with a battle axe and was making himself a real problem. Hey, our friend Flady's here. Hello, Flady. Gentlemen, salute. Dropping in before bed. Well, we hope you have a good night's rest, sir. Look forward to trying to pin you a mail tomorrow, and hopefully things are well on your end. Thank you for your support. Good gentleman, that Flady. Um, I'm debating on that because the party has in Mongoose's possession, he's got a title for a structure close to the dungeon Rapanathuk.
Right. We've mentioned it a couple times, or at least I have.
Yeah, and it could turn into a real interesting game, and I would appreciate that, but at the same time, like some people would be like, "Oh, you're not running for Pathfinder, which it was written for." Come on, you're not running the way. No, 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 no. It was written initially for first edition AD&D. So them porting it to Pathfinder, they had to massively bump everything, and up to that point where PF was out, like up until 2015, you didn't read about people beating the dungeon in its entirety. But after 2015-16, you started seeing a trickle of people that had beaten it, and they tell you things like, "Oh, we got a couple criticals here. We were able to do this and that." And like, there's a lot of people that tried that, but probably 92%. That's a 92% failure rate for that dungeon.
That's not. I mean, if that's the thing that you want, like, it's
Do I want to do that as a GM? It's a possibility. The problem I have with dungeon crawls is their dungeon crawls, and that one is 15 levels with sub levels with lots and lots and lots of stuff, which would be fun, but it takes away a lot of the stuff that goes on in our current campaign where we have the factions, we have the guild, we have other groups, we have some nobles, we have a lot of people that are wanting to get in the party's good sides and like, hey, can you do me a favor? And it removes a lot of that.
right, but it's the difference between an older style of gameplay and the more and the other way of the more I don't want to say more current, but the more narratively driven gameplay. I
Yeah.
can see that for the people who are focused exclusively on the challenge of surviving an awesome dungeon, That's what Thuck and all of those other mega dungeons really are good for. I mean, they're great for that because the challenge is surviving. That is the point. But I can see if you were to, I don't want to say break up the dungeon, but break up the dungeon a bit, so that way they're not running. You can still run Rapanathuk in all of its entirety, but break it up into smaller. Figure out where logical breaks are, so that way they don't realize they're running the entirety at once. So like, here's a small mini dungeon that really is a chunk of it. So then she can get through in a session. 2, 1 to 3 sessions to get through the whole thing. Let them escape, go out, and if they survive, go out, go continue to have some of the cool RP, make the deals, do a couple side quests, and then have it be drawn back into the next section, and then slowly work them through the entire dungeon so they don't realize, oh shit, we're doing Rapanathuk, which it's kind of like saying like, hey guys, we're going to do Temple of Elemental Evil or Tomb of Horrors. Well, the moment you mention those places, people are going to get freaked out, paranoid, or because it's got a reputation. But if they never realize that they're actually doing it, they're going to play it more natural, more up, more relaxed, more in character. It's kind of like when I'm in the Traveler campaign I was playing in. It was cool up until the point where we realized the GM was running the Mysteries of the Ancients campaign. I campaign. The thing was rather than make us feel like we're in the Traveler universe, we felt like we were stuck in the adventure, the adventure path. I know that when I've talked on my and I know I've miscommunicated this. The point that when you realize that you're running an adventure module, it changes the way things feel, at least for me. So if I look over and I realize we're playing Dragon Mountain or we're playing, Council of the Worms, if I see the box set and I see the book and I see the dungeon, I realize that now it's no longer free form. We're no longer playing, it's no longer our characters having their adventure. It's now we're in that book. There's no getting out of the book unless you try really hard to maintain some form of independence, some form of free will and freedom. You're now locked into, can you guess what the right answer is? Can you roll the right roll to get past the dungeon, the trap, and the encounters that are in the book at the time? And the thing is, GMs do this all the time. We start in a more free-form game where we're playing characters. We can go and do what we want, and then we're airdropped into the module, into the book. And then suddenly it's not the campaign anymore. It's now the adventure path. And
I don't want that.
Yeah. And the thing here is that I like how you've set up, at least because I'll be honest, I mostly watched the nights that before the show, because I want to know when I need to be online to go and be on for here. But that means I get to at least watch the latter half of every adventure. I have to get off work still, so
Yeah.
And the thing here is that I like it because you set up the idea that the players know Rapanathuk exists, but they have no idea of the layout, its location, what's going on. They're heading towards it. So if you turn Rapanathuk from one mega dungeon that once you've entered, there's just the bottom. You got to get to the bottom. You got to succeed or you give up. And
Not
then
what I
turn.
want.
What was that?
That's not what I want.
Right.
Like it could literally be a campaign where they go and they grab Castle Calallen and they turn that into like their permanent home, which is really close to like the bad spot. But at the same time, they set up shop, they set up stores, they set up infrastructure to where they don't have to be the main heroes that do it. It could be like literally a campaign where every player has 6 player characters, if they so choose. And if they want to take their low levels and go into Pan Effect, they can. If they want to take their high levels and plumb the middle levels and get the fuck out after they grab the mushroom of immortality, they could do that. I
Yeah.
would be okay with this. And uh, if they want to go for all of it, they can. It's not a dungeon that really locks them out. It is a dungeon that does. It is one of those miserable old school dungeons that prevents teleport. It says at the very start, "Do not allow your players to teleport in or out. Make them walk. Make them be pedestrians." And so, literally, like today's pre-show where we watched the Croc video from the Battle Electrician, every player character would get a set of Crocs because, like, when we're done fucking with shit, let's get these on and hightail it out of here because they're comfy enough to where we might be able to run again. And I kind of like that idea. I'm not saying that I don't. I don't want to have the party be stuck. Like, nope, you got to finish this module. No, I don't want to do that to them. They've put up with me having them do this untested, untried, crazy idea I've got, and they seem to be okay with it. Lady's talking about Reaper. They have a Dungeon Dwellers RPG, which is kind of like a basic adjacent game system. And if you're familiar with Dungeon Dwellers, it's not a bad system, but it's a lot like basic. And there's some really good things about it. It's fast. It's easy to craft a situation. You could add or subtract whatever you want to as a GM, but in its basic form, it's really a good game to get kids started on. If they're like 12 years old and can't find a magenta box, Dungeon Dwellers would be perfect for it. It's the same as like David Giles. Damn it, his RPG's in the front room, but his D&D adjacent game.
Right.
So they're getting ready to release a Kickstarter, and there's a lot of miniatures available for the Kickstarter for Reaper, which that looks like it might be worthwhile if you're a mini painter. Don't come up with me with extra. Hey, can you paint these figs? I need money first. I'm trying to save for a house, so that's where I'm going to throw my talents at. If people are like, hey, I need to have these miniatures painted, cool. Here's price for miniature. Here's shipping price. You know, people are wanting to do that. Cool. I'll start working on the new stuff. Until then, my Ratkin are my first priority right now because I don't know if you're familiar with Ratkin in the game I run, but we kind of use them kind of like the secondary thieves guild in the bigger cities, and
Yeah.
it kind of makes for a little fun RP. Um, they are an allowable race in those bigger cities, so players can try something they haven't done yet. They're not really statistically they're not superior in any way. In fact, you're almost in the guys. No matter what game you're playing, if you start doing things like oh, we're going to have ratkin humans and halflings, you're just a step or two away from After the Bomb and Teenage Mutant Ninja Madness, but just with whatever system you're running. I don't
Yeah.
mind.
I won't lie. That's yeah.
What? What?
No, with the whole one step away from playing after the bomb, and then I'm like, I can't really say anything. I'm the one who wants to. Who's like, I really love riffs, but I don't like the I don't like the dice engine, and I really don't want to play in the Rift's world. But I like some of the concepts for it, so I'm
Yes.
going to, and that's kind of I've been doing it like I've so last week I ended up finding a all of the Splat books for the Weird Wars books that Pinnacle Press put out in early D20 for their World War II RPG. I I loved it, but I will never play it. I'm never going to run it because I am I am playing a pulpy D20 World War II is fun, but nah. I mostly own it because, well, I was tired of using all the PDFs, but I had to. But coming home, it led into this long bit of retrospective thought of like, why the fuck did I do this? Why did I blow 100 something bucks on this? You're saying?
No, that's funny because I've walked away from drive through RPG with like a $200 $300 purchase before, and I'm like, yeah, I could have used that for down payment, or I could have used that on an extra payment on the car, accelerated my debt clock, and freedom from debt. And I didn't do that. Instead, I want to be comfortable and have my books and not have to worry about just like adult things. And I've done that before
Uh,
a lot.
My current addiction to 1/700 scale waterline naval models is currently having me asking that same question. So, but that's me in boats, and I really love my boats.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not going to give you grief about your love of boats, dude.
no.
I think we
And
completely understand each other on that aspect.
but so I'm like, I know why I bought Blood on the Rhine way back in the dawn of time, because that was the ability. Because I was thinking to myself, there's that there's something that players don't when you play D&D. We It doesn't matter what you throw at them. Players just are like, I can handle it. We can do it. Demons, dragons, you just throw anything from the monster manual. Players, unless you have the one newbie, are going to be like, okay, I understand. I know. Okay, we can do this. We'll do this. We'll figure out what the gimmick for the monster is, and then we'll, fight it, because it's just simply the monster. You know what a monster can do. And then there's that part of me that likes the idea of the war machine and the warjacks or the other things, because players don't understand. Like, players for some reason don't really, but kind of do understand vehicles and machines. The moment you throw a clockwork anything or a warjack at someone, or an armored vehicle, some form of armored vehicle, players stop going. You get almost this. I want to almost refer to it as like the Panzer shock mental hits, because players start to look at their swords and their bows and their arrows and go, how do I fight this thing that's now in front of me? Because it's not flesh and blood. It's not an undead animated creature. It's a tank. It's a walking tank, but it's a tank. And it's something that's like, sure, it's not firing a cannon at me, but it's firing, a boat anchor on a chain at me. How what? Like it's firing javelins, very high velocity javelins into my face, and my weapons are bouncing off of it, because that's the one thing that because how because I wanted I wanted to just simply go. It's not just simply a wizard standing behind a golem giving commands to the golem. I wanted to have piloted vehicles, because before all of this stuff, I had players trying to figure out how to do this. But I mean, one of them's like, okay, can I hollow out a golem and then command the golem from inside the golem? And then I'm like, okay, so you want power armor in fantasy? He's like, yeah, 'cause my wizard's a wimp, and I want to walk around in a giant anti-magic ball, and that can't be hurt. Okay, okay, and these are the things that my players did or tried to do, and so I wanted solutions, and then suddenly Weird Wars gives me those solutions, and suddenly now I can. So when my players go, I want an armored wagon, I don't just simply go, it's just a wagon with DR5. No, because at that point you can start to engineer things, and then suddenly I can start going, okay, wait, I can extrapolate. Now I could have now I could have an armored train show up. Now because I of this, I can now have a translation to Gearkrieg, which gave me transforming robot tanks. Well, actually more like armored APCs and armored cars because they really weren't that tough. But because the idea that tanks are still tanks, but somebody would want to create a giant walking all-terrain combat machine. And I'm like, well, that sounds like what a steampunk universe would do. Okay, and then I can just extrapolate that. And then because of the fact that I had books that gave potential, case in point, Arms and Equipment, WotC, third edition. I forgot which page it is, but it introduced a set of magical wheels that, when you put them on the same axle, makes a wagon self-propelled, no horses. And I'm going, well, why wouldn't you just suddenly slap this on anything and create a rolling armored vehicle so you can mount a ballista on it? Because ballistas are the universally best weapon in D&D. I don't care; they're the best siege weapon in the entire game. It's crew serviced. So what? It's a crew serviced. It's a crew serviced weapon. Oh no! Hey cleric, you want to do something useful besides simply cast heal? Yeah, take rapid reload. Okay, and then suddenly you now have a light ballista that's now a veritable equivalency to a one shot every 6 second cannon that you're hitting people for way too much damage with. And it
Sorry.
turns it turns quick, and it's got a high elevation, so you're not sitting with the catapult and trebuchet problem of, what do you shoot a catapult at? Castle. A trebuchet? Castle. What if anybody moves? It's useless. But you put a ballista on a simple pintle mount, which is what they're mounted on anyway, and then suddenly you get this ability to turn and aim, and you're sitting here going, and then you have one of my players who goes, so can I get at least a single axis stabilization on a ballista? Can I get two axis stabilization? And I'm going, you're starting to sound really really close to the U.S. Navy or the Kriegsmarine right now, because you're starting to figure out how. Okay, so if I gimbal the mount so that way if the wagon goes bouncing around terrain, the the ballista stays level, and I'm like, ooh, you're starting to get some real engineering stuff here, and they can look at me and go, you've already you've already thought this. I go, I already have the manual. I already know how the Germans did it, and I already know how the Americans did it. Let's see if you can figure out how you do it. And they're like, and they're like, okay, okay, well, at least you're telling me that it's possible. And I'm like going, it's possible, because I was also thinking about the fact that, again, we're hitting to ballista is the single most usable, the best weapon in the entirety of Dungeons and Dragons. Because when we play Dungeons and Dragons, we have the problem is that we're humans. We're used to, our history is everything is two dimensional. Our threats for the longest time were two dimensional threats. Nobody flew until the 20th century. occasionally a balloon in the late 1800s. But for the vast majority of human history and human warfare, all fighting was, well, um, level. At sea, on land, it was level. D&D doesn't have that. Fantasy games don't have that. Fantasy has all fantasy has you have to look up. And why would anyone, if you've had dragons and griffins and pegasi and wizards for thousands of years, has nobody figured out how to aim upwards with anything except for bows, crossbows, and the ballista? And then suddenly you're going, okay, the ballista is now rapidly becoming the single most useful weapon in the entire universe. And now you start looking at, okay, so the light ballista is obviously pom pom, and our heavy ballista is obviously the 3.5 inch inch, longer ranged, heavier weapon, and then we have bigger weapons that will develop for purposes of removing dragons from the sky, because somebody's going to figure out how to do this, and that's your wonderful 5 inchers. And suddenly you start going, okay, so, and when you have players starting to look at the sky and going, maybe, maybe the Italians have a good idea, and you're starting to figure out how to recreate the Romans' automatic ballista bolt thing, ballista bolt weapon, and you're starting to go, okay, we have Chicago. Now we're trying to build Chicago, the Chicago organ guns now at this point, and you're like, oh, everything's going to be scary you're not just fighting a guy on the ground. You got to figure out, well, there's a wizard. There's a wizard moving at about 90 feet per second currently at that range. Kill him. And your wizard is sitting here going, I'm a happy wizard. I'm flying. What do I care about anything? And then starts to get smacked by tree trunks being fired from anywhere. And then the wizard, oh wow, it's amazing how much they can't fly with 3 tree trunks through their chest and a telephone pole up their butt. That's a fantastic idea. And then you had other players which who are going, so can I who start figure out how to do magical proximity fuses to, like, I don't need to aim, I don't need to hit you, I need to hit your general area. And then you start watching, creative uses of alchemy and area of effect spells being thrown, and just detonating things in the sky and watching wizard bits fall out of wizard bits, or the, well, I am the flying paladin who gets to have a griffin mount, and then watch the sky explode like it's the freaking U.S. Navy over Okinawa firing at that fucking paladin, and and then you watch the paladin explode, and then people go, okay, so flying is not exactly the best strategy, is it? And no, catapults are crap. No, I haven't gained weight. The camera here on Rumble is kind of trash. It's too close. It's zoomed in too close, and I have no clue how to unfix it. How to fix the zooming issue?
It doesn't. You want to open up the panel?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get some invites sent out so we can bring in some other people, and that'll make us look better, and two, it'll open up the conversation a little bit further, because we had a really good game today. But at the same time, I think some of my players may want to be involved. I don't know.
And nerdy, I did mention catapults, but catapults are just big, and they're once again a 2D threat weapon. They're just there to hit things on the. You don't shoot catapults at flying things because they don't track very well. I mean, you're not really going to see a catapult being put on a. You're going to see it moving on an x-axis. You're not going to see it moving on the vertical. You'll see it on the horizontal. You're not going to see it on the vertical being moved, because it's a big giant torsion weapon, and it just kind of just flings. And you really don't. it's a ballistic arcing weapon, and that's kind of okay, but you're not going to get the flat trajectory that you're going to get from a bolt. From a bolt being moving at any kind of speed, but no, and you're not going to see a trebuchet being done that way. That's why I'm like, that's the reason why the ballista is the universally best weapon because, well, it can target flying things way more easier than trying to aim a catapult at somebody. Which I'm sure somebody could do it. Obviously, somebody stupid's going to try to do something dumb because, well, I can go into different doctrinal ideas that the British came up with, or the French came up with, or even the Japanese and their really stupid beehive rounds for an 18-inch gun, or the idea that the British had of, we'll just fire a bunch of 6-inch guns in that direction, and we'll create a wall of flak, and nobody will get through that. So, I mean, there are ideas on how to use stupidly big things to pray that the dragon flies into it. Because, maybe you're lucky and the dragon will be stupid and the agile dragon will get hit by a giant rock.
Hey,
I mean,
RPG Grandma.
what was that?
RPG Grandma's here. Hey, hun, how you doing?
Oh, yeah.
And
Problem here is,
I found what happened. Um,
yeah.
I should have accepted you. Yep. Okay. TCG, you may have to turn on your camera. I found the camera that Kai has, and it's the same camera that Vance had right before he took office. Here, let me show you. So, anyway, Kai just has the old camera from JD Vance. That's all.
I do.
No, and see, now that he's the camera's like back, see how his face is normal now.
I'm not as fat. I'm only somewhat fat.
I'm mostly fat, just not that fat. That's my excuse. How you doing today, Crafting?
I'm doing good.
Glad to see you showed up, and glad to have
Yeah.
you in the game today. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was, yes, very much so. I was very pleasantly surprised by the dragon because, like I said, I don't know if Kai caught this part, but I'm so used to Palladium style dragons that even when I hear 500-year dragon, I'm expected to have my ass handed to me.
And dragons are kind of cool, but in that, is 500-year dragon, is that still in the adult category? I forgot my age ranges with dragons.
Not for Palladium, but even a young dragon is going to tear a level 7 party apart.
Right. But remember, this is D&D where we have dragons of every size, shape, and flavor and age. So you can be like small baby dragons all the way up to discount smalks. And meanwhile, there are bigger, better, scarier dragons out there, but those are the epic level dragons, and they all have names. And when they show up, you're like, "Oh, hey, look, it's the guy the size of a mountain." Fantastic. Don't worry, I love you too. I'm just fat.
Should I leave my camera on? I mean, you don't see my face, but I don't feel like adjusting anything either.
I love the level of like, I don't want to get up.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah. I like how there's like red eyes in the background.
Yeah, that's okay.
Of course, that for me personally, that's no worse than Kai's camera. That little anime character behind him, when I first saw that, I couldn't unsee it because it looked like it was about to leap out from behind him and snap his neck.
She's got shark teeth.
That's even worse.
It's literally a little stuffed anime Roman centurion. She's got a shield and she's got big evil shark teeth.
That's kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, it was an awesome gift. It was an awesome. As I said, it was an awesome gift because they know I like anime. They know I like Rome. They figured out stuffed Roman centurion, little stuffy Roman centurion. She's got a shield. She's got her sword, and she's looks completely fucking evil and batshit crazy, and I'm like, I like that. That's gonna. I'm gonna put that up there on my shelf.
Kind of like all the women we've loved before.
She literally shares a shelf with my Soundwave collection. So
You know, I was watching this guy. I don't know if you watched Cappy's Army or not, but he's one of the
I
new
do.
guys on Pepperbox, and he was showing off some things. And in the background, he's got his setup in front of his bed, and I noticed because it was brought to my attention through the chat he's got that he has a waifu pillow. So I don't feel that bad. Granted, he's like in his 30s, and I'm now in my late 40s because I'm 50. 50s start at 51. Don't start at 50. Nothing starts on 10 or on 0. Everything starts on 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still in my 40s, still fighting for the good fight. But I am really, like, I feel better knowing that I'm not the only one with childlike interest as I paint another miniature of 1,000. And he's got, he's doing like these snuff videos, for lack of a better term, because that's kind of what he does. He's showing off the various things going on in the Ukraine and giving you all the dirt of what's going on overseas with your money, which I actually kind of like. I don't know if he's intending to show you that, but I mean, we gave him like how many billions of dollars, and it's good to see the money mostly being used to prolong life. I know some people will disagree with me. I'm not a super fan of the Ukrainians by any means, but I don't want them to be extinguished. I just don't like their big boss. I don't like the guy that's in charge of Ukraine. That's it. That's my complaint. The fact that like we can't get out of this agreement that we made in 1992, and now Ukraine is full of corruption, and we've got our bio labs there and other financial interests. It's like I don't want to preserve those. I want those unearthed and exposed. I want to show the world what Moderna and Pfizer and everybody else has been hiding away in Eastern Europe. And Russia did the good thing by showcasing there's like 38 biolabs over there that are American-owned interests, and that's why we're so fucking balls deep in this shit. But that's just my own complaints, and I'm a grognard. Anyway,
Right.
in the 3.9 Draconomicon, a 500-year-old dragon is classified as old. It might be. In the system we're running, Laurentis is an older dragon, but he's considered a young adult, and he's just huge. He just turned huge size.
Right.
Every game system is going to have different ages for dragons, which I kind of value. I get it. I do appreciate it. But at the same time, I don't want to throw out vast numbers like I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson trying to educate my players about the solar system. No, it's billions of years old. I don't want to do that.
No.
Players to have a healthy respect for the problems they encounter, but I don't want to bamboozle them with bullshit because I want their trust. That way I can run again for them and give them another thrilling encounter. Because today I didn't know if you guys are going to make it or not. Fucking Nerdy Ogre did some major work.
Oh yeah.
And I was really happy that he did what he did.
Oh, you can kind of see me now. I will freely admit, Nerdy Ogre is the only thing that did not keep from more of us dying. Like, if that gas weapon had gone off, the only ones that would have survived was on those of us that were on the opposite side of the bridge. But
Shit happened.
I'll freely admit, though, thanks to a
And yes, Pluto was a planet. Damn it.
yeah, thanks to I think it's either Dimension Door or Dimensional Door. the weaker of the two. We recently found a scroll of that, and I'm within level to cast that. So I was fully prepared to scream kumquat if things got turned not so nice.
Hey, nerdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey there.
I seem to have gotten a failure on my cameras, which I find hilarious.
I hope it's okay
okay.
that I do some num num.
You're quite okay, sir.
Okay.
My only ever complaint about that is please don't talk with your mouth full.
Pluto is a planet. Indeed, it is. I don't care what they want to subclassify it as, but I was raised on the fact it's a planet. It's an orbital body that goes around the sun. It's sometimes closer to Neptune. It's still a planet.
I'm just pissed that the actual astronomy meeting that it was demoted at, the people who demoted it waited till it was the last day of the convention, then made it look like the convention was over, waited for the bulk of the people who were the majority, who were the Pluto supporters as being a planet, to leave, and then held the vote, and then demoted it before enough of the people who were Pluto supporters could get back to vote. So it was a scummy, underhanded maneuver by a bunch of assholes to demote the planet. And I'm like, but if there's so many other, protoplanets or whatever the hell, deadline planets that are out there that now qualify in, well, tough. It's grandfathered in. Fuck you all. But now I will never get. I now, because of some scummy scientists who decided to pull a scummy maneuver at a convention, assholes like DeGrasse Tyson can say stupid shit on their goddamn podcast as educators, and now we get to have Pluto as not a planet anymore. So now we're down to 8 planets because scumballs fucking pulled a fast one. This is why people who manipulate fucking votes and shit are just fucking stupid. I hate that idea. No. Pluto's a planet. I don't care. I'm angry. I am angry at scientists for this. Millions of people dying due to bullshit science. Fuck that. Don't care. Pluto, fucking important.
Ooh, Kai, conversation. Nerdy and I. Crap. Which part of this? I knew his name when he was with us. The guy we were playing with earlier. At any rate, he and I were having a conversation with a little bit of Nerdy. Unfortunately, Nerdy was like text only, but still.
Yeah.
Right.
Point of this, how would you build a Space Marine in Rifts? Because the other guy and I came to basically the same conclusion, but I'm curious how you would do it.
Well, first off, you start with the fact that it's a goddamn juicer. Juicer at the middle of it.
Well, there's number one. Like, so far, we're in agreement.
Okay, I said Titan Juicer specifically.
Okay, Titan Juicer does fit for this because he's got to be bigger than normal. Probably.
Titan Juicer, I'd play. Go ahead.
Okay, and you'd probably go with some cybernetics to go. Put some cybernetics and bio garbage in them, so that way they're tougher, bigger, better, stronger because they are.
That's the juicer process.
Oh, I know, but you gotta do a little bit extra just to because they're Marines, and I think I would probably start with probably pull out the NGR handbook, start digging around in there, trying to find a good. What was that?
NGR. I was looking at Nyruni. I couldn't find any armor for Nyruni.
The Nyruni, I really don't do a lot of power armor. They're more like cool vehicles and tanks.
They have weapons. Most of the armor would be shields.
Yeah, they do have some really great tanks out of the Mercenary Handbook. Like some really deadly main battle tanks come out of the Mercenary Handbook, and a
That's
few other
probably what I need
vehicles.
to look at.
Oh yeah, it's the Mercenary Handbook is a fantastic book. I think I've got still that. I think it might be the only risk book I still own. That's an actual risk book. It's in here somewhere. But no, the thing here is like I'd probably look at like I don't want to say Glitter Boy because Glitter Boy is just kind of garbage, but it's awesome, but it's garbage.
Well, the initial stat, like for your basic Ceramite armor, I think would hold pretty well because Ceramite is definitely not indestructible.
It's not, but you need to have something that moves at a modest speed. That it's like not too fast, not too slow, a little faster than standard human. You need to have a little bit of bonus damage coming from extra strength and that, and the bolter. That's why I was kind of looking for a decent probably in the 1d6 to times 10 MDC range for the bolter because it hits hard.
Oh yeah,
but not too hard. It can punch through enough to be lethal, but not super lethal. And which is kind of funny when you're saying MDC or MDC weapons.
yeah.
Oh no! It only obliterates the house, not moves up the space time continuum. So I maybe drop it down to like a 3 or 4d6 MD weapon because you're right. D6 times 10 is just a little too much, and yeah, that's probably where I would probably put it because they really don't get jump jets. They don't really get to fly without actually having an actual jump jet configuration going, and there mostly it just needs to be is it vac suit capable? Does it have is it environmentally sealed? And that's about all you really need. So you're right. The Ceramite armor would probably do a good. You probably need a heavier Ceramite because it could take good abuse and keep on going. So, I mean,
and one of the key reasons why I would initially think Glitter Boy is one of the key descriptions of how Space Marines move in combat. It's either as a unified formation or when they charge. They're not described as a speed force. They're described as a tank at full speed.
Right. It's a hard-hitting group. But then again, you have to realize what version of Marines are you going to be talking about here? Are we talking about
it's like
tabletop or cinematic, like the cinematic Marines, or are we talking about the book and the novel Marines? There's a vast difference between the three of these things because, and also depending on which bullshit writer from Black Library we're talking about here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've already run across that.
Like, is it Abnett? Is it Dan Abnett writing? Oh man, no. Marines are the most powerful god. Like, they are just shrugging off shots all day long, and they're just invincible. If they are the cinematic Marines who are from video games, where they're just like, oh, they're just standing here, just taking bolter rounds all day long and everything, and they're just amazing. And then you get the tabletop Marines, where Daddy, please don't hurt me. I'm very wimpy because everybody can kill me by the dozens. And unless we're fighting Imperial Guard, and then you need a lot of flashlights to be able to kill one. I mean, I know this because I play Guard a lot. I don't play currently, but used to play Guard, and I used to play Marines. So Marines are really cool against Strength 3, but since everybody builds for weapons that kill Marines, tabletop Marines die to the point where like, these guys suck. So it always comes down to, and also, but don't worry if you have a different writer who I won't talk about his actual name because he's that bad and he doesn't deserve to be talked about. Don't worry, Terminators can do backflips off the guy while shooting weapons that they can't even equip, or you get to have My favorite Marines are the Ultramarines, and they're the bestest at all things at all times, and they never lose at anything ever because they're so amazing, Matt Ward. Um,
Yeah, the milk toast Marines.
no, no, because Matt Ward made him. I made him the ultra I never lose. Awesome sauce Marines. After all, look whose daddy showed up, and when he showed up, he got brought back to life by by a hot Eldar babe, and when he came back. The super secret god technocrat managed to come out of nowhere, and he's been working on in the background all this super tech that just comes out of nowhere, and now everybody gets to have flying combat tanks and new hover vehicles everywhere, and now they have bigger, taller, more amazing Marines who are now the Primaris Marines, who are just better, and they have better weapons, and they're cooler, and we've had them in the closet for 10,000 years. We were waiting for your return, oh great and powerful rowboat, Lord of the Excel files.
So after 10,000 years, they finally came out of the closet?
Yeah, pretty much. They're that gay. And they're so awesome. So the entire Imperium is on its back legs. The rift across the galaxy has shattered the Imperium into half. But don't worry, Rowboat and his ability to do math was handed the keys of these new super marines who will do everything better with better tanks, better guns, better weapons, and they're just better. And now he's amazing. Can you tell which faction is the favored? And it's like, meanwhile, you have Dark Angels going, "Hey, do we get anything cool? You get your Primar back. Primar back. Does he do anything cool? No, he's just a grumpy old man. And does anybody else get anything cool? No, nobody gets anything cool except for the rowboats. But don't worry, everybody gets to have Primaris Marines, and it's beautiful. You're all super special." Yeah, I know.
Gray, in this case, Gray Knight's master, whatever the fuck he is, the guild, the master. Hey, do we get Primaris Marines? You do not exist.
Oh no, they're gonna get and they're getting a refresh, so you know they're gonna come, and maybe we'll retire the diaper Titan, the baby
The baby carriage.
Baby carrier.
I actually love the design, honestly.
Oh God. It looks like the thing you put a baby in so he bounces around. He's wearing a diaper with the word Titan written on it, and he's like, "Oh goody,
You're talking about a Johnny Jumper?
yeah, pretty much, yes, one of those." You get to put this big giant Grey Knight Marine in a big bouncy tube that he gets to have combat arms with. You're like, what the hell is this? It's the Grey Knight Dreadnought. It's not really a Dreadnought, but it's the Grey Knight Dreadnought. He's really, really awesome.
Taking a picture now, Nerdy, and I'll put it in Discord so you can see what. I can't deny, as much as I personally like the design, I cannot deny a single word Kai has said. It is actually that ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I mean, they look like Games Workshop watched the scene from Matrix 3 where they have all the power armor suits defending Zion against the horde of AIs coming in here, and you're sitting here going, "Oh, so we strapped a Grey Knight power armor suit into a bigger, stupider suit, and now it gets to shoot guns at the sky. It's great." But don't worry, Grey Knights kind of suck anyway. But they're awesome. But they're not.
Do you remember the old book called Real Ultimate Power?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have it?
I don't have a copy of it, but I know it.
I'm going to have to get a copy of this because that's a book. That's a book that would benefit. If you have a YouTube channel and you want to increase your views, you do funny shit. And Real Ultimate Power was released back in the early 2000s, and it was a book that some guy wrote as a Generation Xer, and I'll just read the blurb from Amazon.
There you go, nerdy. I put the the picture in the
Oh
Discord.
my god, are you guys looking at that fucking power armor shit?
Yep.
Oh my god,
That's-
fucking that's over the line. Let me tell you. So, Real Ultimate Power. This is a book you buy if you want to laugh. A lot of you have been saying I don't know anything about real ninjas, but that's a bunch of bullcrap. You dummies don't know anything, and maybe you should get a life. I bet a lot of you have never even seen a girl naked. You idiots believe that ninjas had some code of honor. Yeah, right. By code of honor, you mean code to flip out and go nuts for absolutely no reason at all. Even it means that people might think you're totally insane or sweet. And you're right. But if you mean a code to be nice and speak nicely while sharing and not cutting off heads, you're the biggest idiot ever. 7 exclamation points. 7 exclamation points. So if you have any brains, you will shut up and get a life. So go shut up, you stupid idiot. No, thank you. Robert Hamburger. Robert Hamburger wrote a book, and the cover says, this book's all about ninjas. Real ninjas. And this book is awesome. My name is Robert, and I can't stop thinking about ninjas. These guys are cool, and by cool, I mean totally sweet.
Oh,
So,
and Travis, the link is on the Gilded site, and in my
sorry.
and in my musings that there's a link to get in. So
he's trolling, right? Right? That's like
it
I hope
is
that-
200.
he's not being serious.
It is 228 pages of pure. Nope. What am I doing here?
There's no way. There's no way he can be.
It is a beautiful work of comedy. This book changed my life. When I grow up, I want to kill someone. Cindy, age 7.5.
Okay, so it's a troll. He's trolling people with this book. Okay,
Yes, he
I can
is.
accept it.
It is not a book you should take seriously. The back cover has a ninja with a guitar on it.
That's awesome. So, nerdy,
Okay,
what'd you think of the
Okay,
what'd you think of the dreadnought?
It is terrible. It is gloriously terrible.
stupid. It made me think. What was that? Tom Cruise movie? It's in the future. They're fighting aliens, and
Edge of
he
Tomorrow?
keeps dying. Yeah,
Edge
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
Tomorrow.
yeah. It reminded me of that. Those machines. You know where that one guy who's fighting butt ass naked, like literally butt ass naked. He's balls out.
Yeah, well, I actually
Right,
checked.
way to be free.
I actually checked. I'm pretty sure the Grey Knights came out after Aliens 2. So, Grey Knight power armor. Grey Knight dreadnought is basically Ripley.
It wishes it was that cool. I'm sorry. It's literally Games Workshop ripping off the Matrix 3. It's literally what it is.
That's beautiful.
You have no you didn't put him in any armor. He's just hanging out there in a baby carrier. It's like here's your Grey Knight. Man, I'm an adult. I'm gonna go out into public and strap my baby to my chest. Nobody
Yeah,
would shoot
yeah.
a baby, so I'm gonna wear his armor. Oh God,
I love it.
it's so terrible.
This is why?
Oh my god, really, Grandma? You're using a ninja book from the 80s for your Oriental Adventures 5e game? Oh
I
my
would do
god.
it.
You guys, listen, I'm not going to give you the information where you need to go to Doc's grandma because that's not right. But that's funny. That's funny. No, Reddit.
I'll just-
Do not go to grandma's house.
Okay, here we go. Ben Thompson's badass. It is. This was a bit more historical than the Ninja book, but if you want to read, I read someone using some taking some very comedic takes on history. This is probably a best one, and it's got an entry on ninjas in it because why wouldn't
Oh, no.
it?
Oh no, what have they done?
I'm trying to find
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Okay,
you have an
I've-
entire page on Hattori Hanzo.
I've found an answer to the bringing Space Marines into rifts, and you would need to go to Phase World. There is a OCC, the Quatorian Wolfen, also known as the Space Marshals, and they undergo a serious cybernetic reconstruction. The only thing you'd really have to the only blank you'd have to fill in would be the height.
Which
Oh.
isn't really hard to.
I-
Which honestly, since size has almost no actual impact in rifts,
None at all.
though I'm still waiting for somebody to figure out how to, pilot a battle cruiser and still do a backflip with it and dodge shit.
I'm fighting a fucking a glitter boy, and he rolled. He had a +5 to dodge, and
Star
so
Marshals.
I was having to, like, for every 4 or 5 shots, I might land 2 because of the contested system that Rips is.
Yeah, that's, I admittedly I kind of prefer that. I don't like my only hope for not getting hit is not getting hit.
Hey,
Okay,
I'm not complaining about your system. I'm just saying.
I have,
glitter boys.
I have a solution for my system. If I have enough people that want to be able to roll die to not be hit. Because your standard AC is 50 plus whatever armor value you're got on for your armor rating. And if I take away that 50 and I just give you a D100 roll to represent the challenge of trying to hit you, and that's not like you dodging or anything, that's just you not being able to be hit. That's a possibility now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do I
have
get
to think
to-
about that?
Can I have a skill where I actually can improve that through the dodge skill?
I dodge would actually improve it by D100 plus 5%. If you're going to try to, like, we can slow the game down even further, but you would have 2 D100s you have to roll. One is your either block, parry, or dodge, and then your armor would be the secondary D100, because if you do get hit, does it penetrate the armor? But your block would be based on, like, whatever value you have to hit for your shield. So you'd be using, like, your basic offense bonus for your shield to block it. Or if you decide to parry an incoming melee, like Ogre's got like a +30 or 40 to fucking hit, he can instead try to use that big fucking axe. And now we're playing with, like, hit points and toughness of the weapons and which one will break first. So now it gets pretty interesting. Sunder plays a big part in the offense bonus on that, or on the result damage on that, because now you've got a chance to possibly break somebody else's weapon when you're just parrying them. And then the dodge would be figured into, like, your dexterity and your reflex save plus your D100 roll. And I've thought about implementing this, and I'm at an impasse where I could do it. I actually don't want to do it on this campaign, but we could do it. But if you want to try that, David, we could do that. That's not a problem, man.
Well, it does sound interesting, and I wouldn't mind trying that. But we can do that on your schedule. I mean, I don't want you to feel like, oh, I want you to make this. No, I want your game to feel
No.
organic.
I've fucked with you guys before in ways that I regret now. One of them by using Evmux, which is really weird because like the only person that had trouble with this stream so far was Kai getting in and me having to reboot my system.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now that I said that, like of course I have problems. But Rumble's been stabler today than fucking Restream, and I don't know exactly where the mythos is at or where I sit in the cosmic algorithm of I'm going to get fucked up. Kai, I just bought Everspace.
All right.
I hate that game.
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
this is really pretty. Look at Asteroid Field. And you've got stuff in there. Let me go over there and mine and do. What do you mean you got incoming Oscar? Ah, fucking reptilians. Okay, I shot those 4 down. They sent in 8? Motherfucker, I died. And that's my experience with that game. Every 2 minutes, reboot. Okay, well, this is your 7th ship. This is your 12th ship. Nah, I don't like the timer counting down. I guess I want a more consistent game world that's not trying to bend me over and fuck me as hard as that game is. And that's my experience with it so far. Is that
why I do not understand James playing Dune Awakening.
Well, Dune Awakening, like you actually have a plot and there's no overarching like factions and such. Everspace does not have that. You have 2 groups of people, one's friendlies, one's bad guys, and then there's a timer when you jump into space. You have like 2 minutes, and then you got to like be at the jump point and get the fuck out. Or
I'm referring to the fact that you're punished for playing the game.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm being picked on unfairly.
And that's exactly the 2 things that bug me about Dune Awakening.
Yeah.
One, if you walk around in the desert and you go to pee, your character is likely to die of dehydration. Not can, likely. I have heard this from James many times, him say that he went to pee and his character died of dehydration while he was gone just to take a piss. And then, if you die to a worm, you not only died and lose like your collectibles, you literally lose everything. If you had a level 5 shield, well, that's gone forever. You're literally punished for playing the game. I have absolutely no interest in that.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from Dune.
Well, from what little I saw him play, he seemed to be doing just fine.
Well,
I mean,
he seems to love it. I don't know why, but he does.
He's got his own place. There's shielding. He had a little jump ship drop pod thing where he was collecting spice.
Oh yeah, he is full on, and he is like deep into that game, and like more power to him. I do not see how the Grandma pee and die. That's exactly it. I do not see how he can play it though. It's like he's gotten good at it. He's figured out how to do all these things.
That's why I've never really gotten into computer and console games. Is just I've never had the time to sit down and actually play. Like I hear all these people. Oh yeah, I'd turn the Nintendo on Friday evening, and it would be on all weekend long, and that's all I'd play. I just play Super Mario Brothers, eat, sleep, wake up, play Super Mario Brothers, eat all weekend long. I was like, I couldn't do. I guess I was too poor. I was poorer than what I thought. I mean, we had like one television, so there was no pausing it. It's like okay, it's like mom and dad want to watch primetime, turn it off.
Yep.
So I did not have the time to sit there and just play hours on end to get any good at it. So never got into it.
I'm happy he likes it. I like the Dune license. I don't like. There's like 4 board game versions of Dune I've tried, and then there was an RTS of Dune I tried, and me and Matt were playing it, and we kind of came to a point where we had a base and we had resources at the start, but we couldn't find any spice. But in Dune, as time goes on the RTS game, your base degrades and your buildings start like just they go away. They either explode or deteriorate, whatever the sand eats them. And we had handed the controller, the Genesis controller, to AJ, and all of a sudden we hear something from the TV, like AJ's building stuff. Like, how did AJ's not getting capable of this knowledge? What he's doing? And we both looked, and AJ's got like under the base where we started at. There's like this huge vat of like spice, and Matt just suddenly like ignores my conversation we were having. He's like, "Shh, I need the controller. AJ, give me the controller, please." So there's another hour and a half we lose while we watch somebody play Dune on the Genesis. And after that, I didn't go to Matt's house anymore for the next couple months until I heard him say, "Yeah, I finally beat Dune for the 7th time."
Wow.
RPG Grandma says, "My team is predictably going to lose every time after halftime. They suddenly can't play." Travis says, "We were so poor, we had to build our television from old Chevy parts, and then we had to use a Ford starter to get it to ignite it. You had to spray the starter fluid on the bunny ears to get it going. And then eventually the Iron Wolf fucking dreadnought with baby carrier attachment would come over and stand on your TV, and the static would go away."
We currently have starter fluid on sale. If you prefer a higher ether level, that's the premium. It's also currently on sale. So if you want to start your TV, we can do it for a discount. Only $7 a can.
Yeah.
I'm just-
One TV,
But
one
we've
TV,
also
3
tried.
stations. President came on.
Yep.
Oh man,
Oh,
talk about bummer in the 80s. Nerdy, do you remember a TV show that was called Wizards and Warriors on CBS in '83? Or am I too old for you?
I don't remember that.
Okay, there was this TV show called Wizards and Warriors. It had a bunch of people on it that some of them have died and some of them went on to other things like Hollywood Squares. Julia Duffy was on it. You had to use dirty kerosene to keep the lines horizontal. Oh no. Tinfoil enhances. And P65 models helped the bunny ears out quite a bit. But Julia Duffy was on it. She was the only actress of note. And every time this show came on, like something would happen. Ronald Reagan would do something, or Lebanon would have an explosion in Beirut. So, like, of the 8 episodes they made, 4 of them actually were seen, and they just canceled it because it was on Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Nobody watches TV on Saturday night. You're out at the roller rink. You're out with the family bowling. You're doing stuff. And this was like a cool show for back in '83. It was the only fantasy we had on television for years. I think the last thing we had before that was what, Dark Shadows?
That would explain it. I probably wasn't allowed to watch it.
Okay, second question. Did your mom let you have D&D books or RPGs in the house when you were growing up or no? Okay, that's my answer. That's my answer.
And it was more my dad. My dad's my dad was a Baptist preacher.
Oh, wow. So we are
And
not...
by that point, I was living in Tennessee. So,
How far were you from...
No Dungeons and Dragons. No He-Man. Wasn't allowed to watch Smurfs. What else was it? Just pretty much anything like that.
Did you ever get the chance to watch... I guess I would just say television at that point, because... Like,
oh, yeah.
Television, 80s television, like, there was some stuff on there that... Like, you had a very special episode of everything in the 80s. Like, if there was a kidnapping somewhere in America, the next week, different strokes. Oh, little Danny gets kidnapped, or...
Yeah, no. See, that wasn't an issue. that wasn't an issue. We were allowed to watch that. Like
RPG
various.
Grandma, have a good night, honey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the crew.
Bye, Grandma.
So yeah,
Yeah, that wasn't a problem.
But RPGs were.
Our RPGs. Well, there weren't RPGs. There's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
As far as it was like Monopoly. As far as there's only one Monopoly. I mean, yeah, okay, everybody has their own special like Texasopoly and this opoly and that opoly and you know they're knockoff, but no, there was Dungeons and Dragons, and that was a big old nope.
I own the official Idaho Monopoly game.
And
um, I went into a store in Shambana once. Kai's gonna laugh here. In the back room, they had the store use board games, and they had a copy of Anti-Monopoly. I wish I was just like shitting with you guys and pulling your legs, but it was like the most non-capitalist friendly board game they had made to that point. And only the fact that we had just unboxed a game of Junta and getting ready to play that, which if you've ever played Junta, you understand the joy in that game because that's actually fun. It can be fun. You have to manage your hippies and you have to manage your PR. You have to do all sorts of things to destabilize a little banana republic. And then once you've done that, now you have a chance to become dear leader and receive your money from a very benevolent overseas entity that loves throwing money at little banana republics like you, i.e. the United States or United Nations. See that however you like to. But it was a very funny game, not really tongue-in-cheek. It was very pointed in its laughter. But the one thing I loved about it was that if you actually suffered in an assassination, you could come back the next round because your brother-in-law took over for you.
Oh,
It was a funny game, and I liked it. I do wish I had opened up a copy of Anti-Monopoly. Travis is like, I need to get to Idaho Monopoly. I want to own Nampa. All right, Six Nations. I've got your your Comcast now. Pay me. Or everybody suffers on internet gaming. I apologize. Somebody, sometimes I fuck up. Sometimes my connection is absolutely nerfed. Sometimes I log into James to listen to him speak at night or in the afternoon, and his Orlando net Disney has taken over and they've sucked all the bandwidth out. So he's skipping, getting a word in every 3 seconds, and sometimes it just I hate to say it, just fucking happens like that, and I can't control it. I'm sorry, guys.
shit happens.
Yeah.
So if you guys were to have your own baby carrier dreadnought, I'm going to start with crafting on this because I think crafting might. I want to know what you would do with your own baby carrier dreadnought crafting. I am so fucking interested in this answer.
Around here, well, admittedly, first thing I would do is play with it. Like I would be doing a lot of things like running around. Like I would treat it, depending on how fast it went, as a car and actually go to town with it.
Please tell me you'd put a 0-1 on the front and back plate of your newfound baby carrier dreadnought,
I would have to now.
and you.
Yep.
I could see that because like you would have such this imposing machinery piece. How high do those things stand? 30 feet, 50 feet?
Not quite there. About as tall as a Space Marine, which is right around 10 feet. Like,
What?
yeah,
That
as a regular Space Marine is like 7 to 9 feet is the average for a Space Marine. It
Jesus.
is the Primaris Space Marines that are like 13 feet tall.
Okay. When you say Primaris, I'm not familiar with 40K like everybody else. Are those like
Well,
custodies, or are those like?
they are also Space Marines there, so they are also Custodes. Here's the thing, though. Best way to put it: the first generation Space Marines made by the Emperor to be the perfect soldier. The Primaris Space Marines made by an arrogant idiot who thinks he's better than the Emperor.
But he's had 10,000 years to perfect them.
Well, okay. Here's question two. This idiot that thought he was better than the Emperor, was that the Emperor's son or
Nope.
grandkid?
Nope.
So it usually takes
He's
three
a really
generations for everything to fuck up.
He's a really old toaster. I mean, cybernetic, cyborged out.
Who's also completely insane because he
Priest.
has absorbed well over 100 different minds. Like one of the traditions of the Mechanicus is to merge minds after a certain point, because your body can no longer sustain you. Like no matter what augmentations you get, your flesh can no longer sustain you. So they merge minds. This guy
Yeah.
is literally a Gestalt entity who is absolutely batshit crazy because he has over 100 minds in his head.
Nerdy, for some odd reason, my San Antonio net is fucking up again. I apologize.
That's all right. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
How did you guys find the baby carrier? What did you do, Kai? How did you find that?
It was released about, I think, I forgot how many editions ago when they rolled out the Grey Knights as an actual functioning usable army that was actually real rather than just something you read about in the background with 5 miniatures. And then they gave us the most bonkers dumbass character possible as it's for the time head of the Grey Knights, Chapter Master. Sorry, I forgot his full title. It's fucking stupid, but it's Khal Drogo, and he's pretty much he runs around the warp killing demons, and then periodically he'll appear out of the warp to remind the people, remind his Grey Knights of how their actual job, and he's the Grand Master Marshal of the entire Grey Knights. And then he returns to his one-man crusade against all demons, and you're like oh, okay.
I actually thought that character was. Yeah, I actually thought that character was really badass until I watched Wes Hammer talk about the fact that he's just a power fantasy character, and if if he really was as powerful as the books proclaim him to be, he would basically be the vessel for the Emperor, because he would be literally that powerful.
Yeah, he's that dumb, and he's a beautiful dumb character. He does dumb shit, and he's being removed in the next. He's being removed in the next edition because he's been moved to his model's no longer for sale, and he's been moved to Legends, so he's not really part of the storyline anymore. So we're not gonna he's gonna get updated, or we're gonna get a new not so lame version of him, or probably lamer version of him as the new Grey Knight Chapter Master when they release the new Grey Knight Codex, which will probably arrive 2 seconds before 11th edition arrives, and it'll be sad as always. And I mean, it looks so it's so dumb. And
have you ever had a Dark Eldar army before?
What was that?
You ever have a Dark Eldar army before?
Yes, no, I don't own one, but I helped assemble and paint one. And yes, the models do cut you because they're sharp and they're pointy. And when you're assembling them, you'll stab yourself, and thus you'll bleed all over your army.
We got into Dark Eldar at the time because in 1996, the the PlayStation was like the recreation of choice for a lot of us blue collar guys, and I would get home at a friend's house where I was staying on in a spare room at no cost. I just had to run D&D. By the way, if you're in your 20s and one of your best friends says, "I make enough money where you can stay here in this house," just have your job, go to your job, come home, clean up, and run D&D for a few hours for us every night, or Rifts or Mutant Chronicles or whatever. If that's a game house, and you guys know what I'm talking about, you when you're in your 20s, like you get your chance to stretch your legs and like do kind of crazy things where you go to like a friend's house and their front room is all 40K shit, or they've got Twilight Imperium boxes on proud display, stuff like that. Well, I had a friend named Cecil. I don't know if Kyle knows him or not. I don't think so. He's out of Decatur. But Cecil told me and his wife, which this didn't really go over well with his wife because his wife was wanting to start making babies as soon as possible. And now there's another 20 something in their house, their age, and I'm impeding her progress on getting laid. Karen and Cecil were just an amazing couple. They were fun, but she wanted to be a mama. And then we found out later that she was kind of infertile, which broke her heart, and it was made us sad about things. But I can't do much about that. But if I'm still living here, I can run my game. And eventually, Karen kicked me out because she's like, I don't want you living in this room. I have plans for this room, and she puts up baby stuff everywhere, trying to feng shui the house to get herself positively fertile and ready for this. And nothing was happening. She had like the worst baby making luck I've ever known. Out of all my friends, she's the only one that even with like multiple doctor trips, she never had kids. She adopted. She couldn't have kids. Fine, she adopted. She found the Angelina way, the Maryland or what is that? Yeah, Madonna way of getting kids, and that's where you go to a third world country and you adopt them. That's what she did. Like I said, they made pretty good money. No, I'm not helping Karen make babies. She was sizably at a point where I had no desire for that, and I'm good. I have a limit. This is a gamer's wife, and I'll just let you just go with that. She's a very nice lady. She's a sweet lady, but I didn't find her attractive enough to get a half hard on, and I'm not going to go there. But anyway, and I'm not going to.
Well, there are mechanical ways of steal babies from Africa. There are mechanical ways of doing that, technological ways of it. Just hook up to a milking machine.
Well, those two did get their kids, but they adopted, and later in life,
as Travis says, stolen from Africa.
yes.
Stole babies from Africa.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. And I mean, they got their kids from environments that were not healthy for raising kids. And Cecil became a stepdad, and I don't think he really enjoys that. But he said, I only got to deal with it for 18 years, or for however many years minus 18, and then they're out. And to my knowledge, like they've got two stepkids that are out and about paying taxes and doing stuff. So they did the right thing. They raised them right. They went out, got jobs, went to college, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Boats. But I had this really cool opportunity in '97 to live with Cecil for like 6 months, and we had the game house. Like 5 nights a week, we were running a game. Somebody was running a game. I would run my D&D, or Denny would run Mutant Chronicles, or we would have 2 or 3 games of Warhammer Fantasy going on, or 40K. Got into the fucking Dark Eldar and built a jet bike army.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was 2 editions behind because a new codex hadn't been brought out. Like standard, atypical Dark Eldar. Like you never seem to run Dark Eldar in the edition that codex is printed for. Am I correct or am I wrong on that?
No, you're pretty much right.
Yeah,
They're an ignored faction.
They really are, and they're neat, which kind of bites even harder because I can stand. I could tolerate a game release a new edition release without another fucking Ultramarines chapter coming out day one. And it always seems like it's, the Ultramarines and then gets the other normies out of the way. But the Eldar, I had this jet bike army, and I played like 4 games of it. And I had just the opportunity to play, and it was fun. But, GW dice and the mechanics for just roll a d6, not a good thing. Too much latent dork in the house is baby poison. I had a girlfriend. I had Melinda. She was pretty okay. We didn't turn into a long-term couple. We bounced together and apart a lot. But it was just very funny because, like, for a full 6 months I lived there, and that was where every night. And it was funny because we were such dorks. We didn't drink. We didn't, like, can you imagine going to a friend's house where there's like 8 people and maybe one guy brings a sixer for himself, but the other 7 are drinking just like Mountain Dew, like they're 16? That's what we were doing. Or sweet tea from McDonald's or whatever it might be. But that was our life, and we had this kind of kosher setup, this really cool setup where that was the thing. And we had a fun time. That was a period of time till like October of '98, and then the wheels came off of that because Karen kind of got upset. She didn't want to have the game house anymore. She wanted to have privacy and blah blah blah. And Cecil never got her pregnant because whatever situation between those two wasn't really our business. But we were friends, and we did want her to have kids at some point because you don't really wish your friend, like, if you really love them, you don't want them to.
You want them to be happy.
Yeah, you want them to be happy. Exactly.
Hmm.
And it was kind of a heartbreak whenever they did all their tests and she was found to be physically unable. And, that stung. But,
that hurts.
my girlfriend at the time, Melinda, she's 55 and she never had kids. So I think it's something in the water of Decatur, Illinois. And maybe I'm wrong for thinking that, but they do have a lot of pollutants and chemicals there. It is the capital of Archer Daniels Midland Company. That's all I'm going to say. And if you know anything about Monsanto, that's kind of where Monsanto has their third-party problems at. But I hope I didn't bore you guys that much.
No, it's
No.
fine.
Well, there is. I don't know about women ruining fun, but there is evidence to suggest that men are better at relationships than women are.
Yeah, I can actually vouch for what you said there because the highest rate of battery between spouses is in lesbian couples.
Oh, not only that is the divorce rate in lesbian with the lesbian in the divorce rate in lesbian marriage is upwards to 70%. The divorce rate in heterosexual marriage is upwards to about 50%. The divorce rate in a gay marriage is about 20%. So the more you take women out of marriage, the lower the divorce rate goes.
That, Travis, it might be. I think you just live in an area that there's not a lot of fucking smokestacks spewing carcinogens out at everybody in the area. Because Kai lived in Peoria for most of his life, and Kai has the same joy that I've got. He might have kids, but they're not there. And I don't think it's the lowest testosterone count.
Oh, come on. It's no longer around, but occasionally it does. But the smell of ADM running at maximum, giving you the ode to Peoria scent that would just drift through town.
I don't miss that smell.
No, No one does. No one should.
My chat just fucked up. Okay, there we go. Did you guys see RPG Grandma come back?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
that's weird.
Wait a minute. When did I say BRB? That's it. Oh, you went way back.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if like the program on Rumble Studios like and there goes like part of the circuit board.
Oh, I'm gonna have to say my goodbyes here in a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up because I kind of downered it out. Um,
yeah.
Illinois got a lot of carcinogens in the air. We have 6 nuclear facilities here, I believe, either 5 or 6, and none of them are on because Illinois is just that fucking smart. I don't know why they don't turn on their own stuff. They're trying to get on wind power, and it's a failing situation. Pritzker, you know how he is. Uh, Nerdy, I gotta ask you the big question. You got the baby carrier. What are you gonna do with it?
Take over a third world country.
Spoken like a true American. If I didn't know you'd lived in Tennessee at one point, I would honestly think that would be the absolute most Texas answer I've ever heard. But yeah, okay, you were in Tennessee for part of your childhood. Were you in Chattanooga by any chance?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I've been out.
Why do you ask? That's oddly specific. I mean, whenever you say Tennessee, people don't think Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay, I lived
Nashville, Knoxville, Memphis, yes. Chattanooga?
Okay, I have to explain myself. My early formative years are in Chattanooga and Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. Now, if you guys are familiar with those areas, you got like battlefield history all around it. You got Chickamauga Battlefield. You got all sorts of stuff. At accessories of gray, green toxic fog. It smells like burning plastic. Like my AC unit 2 nights ago. Um, this this Chattanooga area is kind of interesting because, like, you ever hear about the Deep South Baptist movements, like the Serious Baptists? Like, you have you'll have a mixed congregation, but they get into it. They get seriously into it. That is that is completely what you get with Chattanooga. And Chattanooga's fun like that. Don't get me wrong, but Chattanooga is kind of weird in that aspect because you have so many various things going on around the city. It is not a low crime city. It is a city that's struggling, but at the same time, it's not a horrible place. It just needs help. But it's actually not a bad place because there's things to do there. There's good places to go. Back when I was there, you had Pizza Caesars, which was a fantastic pizzeria. His sons went to Nashville and built there. They got like 6 or 7. Um, it's an absolute joy of a place to be. But if you're in the wrong spot of Chattanooga, it's like any other bad city. And that's
Boone
all.
Heisinger, or last I was there, they renamed it Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman Projects. That was my brother. He went on a ride along with the Chattanooga Police Department, and the guy he was with, that was part of his patrol. Man, he's like, all right. And the cop pulls over, sits, locks up the car, takes the shotgun from the front, locks it up in the back, and they just went walking through. And there's one point they heard some gunshots, and they ran, got called, and tried to keep him alive, tried to keep the guy alive, but it was a losing situation. It's kind of the area where where get a 911 call. Paramedics will stay outside of the area until the police show up and say that it's just bad. So yeah, I know. I mean, it's been years since I've been there, but
Yeah. We used to have a place like that around here. Then the owner started dying off. Yeah, and the state started reclaiming the land.
So we got a statement from Travis J's 1975. He says, "Y'all need to move out to mid upper Ohio, not Ohio, Idaho. I apologize. So we need to move over to Sandpoint, Idaho. What he's saying, it's in the upper part of Idaho. You'll never regret it. My only problem with that, Travis, is my joints. You get me past like 33 degrees down the Fahrenheit scale, and the less mobile I become because I'm getting more and more like James Coburn in the movie Payback. I can't flex my fingers. I can't use my hands. So having to stick around here, Idaho County's land of freedom. I would say Idaho. The people I met at Idaho are amazing. They got you, Shark, got our gentleman here, Nerdy Ogre, or not Nerdy Ogre, Crafting Gamer, and then I've got Six Nations. Idaho seems to be a kick-ass place. We'll have to set up some sort of convention there or something.
There's only one thing that would keep me from wanting to do that, and that's my wife. She can't drive, so she has to take public transport everywhere because she doesn't want to be trapped anywhere. So I would have to find a place that's either within walking distance of a job that she can do, or has to be on a bus line or some form of public transport because we don't want to depend on Uber and taxis to be able to get around.
No, and the good thing I've seen is that mid-sized cities in areas like Idaho and like Colorado, Wyoming, they're actually getting to the point where they're not even needing the infrastructure because you can walk to work within a half mile. Yeah. And that's not bad.
Well, Sandpoint. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sandpoint does have a bus system, and we don't actually have taxis. I don't think they ever got permission to be here. Like, as far as I know, Sandpoint votes to keep them out. But Sandpoint is right now is currently pretty darn close to being a 15-minute city. As long as you live in town, you can pretty much walk anywhere you want.
See, that's the one thing that the more I've been trying to research places I can move to and go to, everywhere that sounds better turns out to be, well, do you want to drive around in your wonderful Ford F-250 Pavement Princess for 35 minutes to be able to get to anywhere?
No.
Or it's fuck no. We don't have any form of public transportation. That's for fucking pussies and urban folk. And then you're sitting here going, how am I supposed to get around? In your truck? Like everyone's supposed to.
They don't have that actually. They've got I'm looking at Sandpoint right now. It's actually not a bad looking town.
Is it an actual the thing is it does it have enough jobs to be able to be worth moving out to there and be able to actually?
It's more the question: do you want to work those jobs? Because almost everywhere has a for help want to sign, especially unfortunately convenience store places, like gas stations, the regular stores, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is I would want to move to a place where I don't have to work a convenience store job because that's
here's the city of Sandpoint right here. It's not a super big city. That I believe is your airport, correct? Yeah, the Sandpoint Airport. You've got infrastructure pretty much, I believe, on the south and western sides of it. and then you've got industrial parks here as well. Trucking's starting to pick up over in this area. I know you love trucking, but you can work in third parties and not have to be behind the wheel.
Oh, yeah, and Sandpoint actually decided to be more trucker friendly by putting in a very much needed and fairly short now bypass.
Are you talking about the 200 or the 2?
I don't know which one it is, but you're putting your cursor right over where it would be.
Okay. So this is the 2, and then you got the the 2 comes up and over, and then 95. This is not a bad town. It's grown quite a bit since I've visited there 15 years ago. But this is like that's not super big, but it's big enough to support stuff. And here's the gem of why I would want, if I was thinking about relocating out of Texas, which that's really not in the cards right now. But you've got all this area on the lakeside, which the lake is going to get built up faster than anywhere else in Idaho.
Yeah.
And this is kind of in the upper portion of the state. You're bumping up against the Canucks over here, but you've got a really good forested area to the western side.
They're about to be Americans anyway, so
yeah, and they're going to be Americans for 51st state. 51st state, no big deal. You got a little bitty town of Ponderay. I know there's jobs there because that keeps popping up on my fucking Indeed, and then Odin keeps popping up. But all up the fucking 95, this is a corridor, and it's getting logistics hit really good. The 2 is going to get built up. This is going to be one solid burb in the next 20 years. This is going to be a burb. Right along here, along this from Ringco to Dover, you're going to see fucking subdivisions and all sorts of stuff like that. Ponderay to Culver is going to be built up as shit. It's got nothing right now, but it's in its infancy. And I'm not telling you.
Sandpoint's already slowly reaching around and is going to devour Kootenai.
So, and I don't know if you like lake living, Kai. I know you kind of do in Peoria because they got that wide spot in the river.
But I do like lakes, and it's something. Like I said, I'd have to go looking into this one, but I know that finding some way to be able to have decent public transport that can get you anywhere is of very critical importance. Because there's a place that I wanted to go out in like the Blue Ridge Mountains, and then I realized that it would be great for me. I can drive. My wife cannot. And
there are none, Bruce.
And therefore, and the thing is that the idea of going to a town or a small city where there's nothing, like if something went wrong, she would be stranded, scares the hell out of her. And so therefore, I don't want to leave her stranded. So there has to be an actual developed bus system that would actually be more than just simply, a couple buses a day where that's it. And it looks like a nice town where it's like maybe like kind of like it's East Peoria if Peoria wasn't across the river from it. I mean, it's nice, but
yeah, I actually don't know much about the transit system. I know it's been in there for about a decade.
I know, but the moment that you said, "Oh, we don't pay taxes," and we're not even sure, it's like if the buses were actually, legit, and at that point, I'm going. So at any point, the company can, since it's a for-profit company that's not being run by the city, it could just pull out.
The spot buses are run by the city.
Okay.
They just don't allow, as far as I know, they don't allow taxi companies to cut down on traffic.
Okay.
Uber limited.
Oh, so you're now stuck with Uber is your only alternative if you can't take the bus.
Well, even Uber is kind of limited.
I know, but the thing here is that I don't like taxis, Peoria's got a very good bus transit system. It
Yeah.
actually works.
This
Hire
is
rickshaws.
this is
And you
the
can
Coeur
go-
d'Alene area.
What's that?
Coeur
Anyway,
d'Alene
I
area.
gotta,
But
I gotta go, guys.
hey, Nerdy, thanks for
Yeah.
being here,
Thank you for
man.
hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
See you later.
Coeur d'Alene is far more developed.
Not too
It's
far.
also an actual city instead of a town.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I said, I found a wonderful place out in the Blue Ridge Mountains that I would love to go to. It's also lakeside. It's nice and rural. And the moment I pointed it out, she shot it down because it would be a nice small town that has no way for her to get around besides wait for me to get home to drive her around, and that's not a situation that she wants to be trapped in, because one of her exes almost did that to her and stranded her in a town where it's 40 miles of walking to get to the next city, the next town. And at that point, it's like she didn't like the idea of, she could start walking and in 3 days I reach the next town by foot.
Yeah.
That's not for. So if anything happened, she would be stuck. And she's been, and people have done that to her multiple times. Like, she got stuck in like Las Vegas and got abandoned there. She got stuck in the town and almost abandoned there. And she's afraid that if I was to do anything, that anything was to happen to me, she would be stuck. So having some way to get around is critically important, and having a single bus line that would just go around, and that's not very robust, would be. And the idea that, well, where's the nearest town? Well, there's a couple small itty bitty towns, but are they on the bus line? Because when you're walking on foot, 5 miles is, well, that's a long distance. That's an all day affair for somebody who's not, especially now that we're older people. Because I'm in my mid 40s. She's early 50s now, and we're now looking at the idea that our legs don't work no more. We're broken. Ankles and knees and Achilles tendons are torn. We don't walk fast anymore. So the idea of doing a 10-mile road march to town doesn't sound appealing. Sure, I could probably go, hey, look, it's 4 to 5 miles. It's 4 miles to the game store. If I feel really, really energetic, I can go walk that, and I'll feel miserable by the time I get there. And then it's like, hey, can I get a ride back? Why? I don't want to walk 4 miles back home. Down 2 hills, up 2 hills to get home.
Bruce, see the? Oh, you went.
Go ahead.
You went too far. You had quickly up there. You were up near Sandpoint. You had the sunset fire on your thing. I was going to say that's actually the fire that is currently somewhat threatening my home. They've actually started containing it.
Yikes! It's definitely active here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a potential fire threat to this here. That sucks.
I think they've had it held in place for a couple of days.
I'm just saying, like, I keep coming back. Like, if I was to think about Coeur d'Alene or Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Nampa, Boise, those be areas that, as a wastewater professional, I know for a fact, like, I got no problem staying busy 5 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to leave. I got something going on in San Antonio. My boss and I, we are finding out things here with his business, and it's pretty impressive, the amount of stuff we've had to go through this past week and a half. But I feel very, very sorry for those people that are starting new businesses right now, because the city of San Antonio just expanded, and what they thought was like an area for certain coded things to do is getting updated along the edges of the city. And so every small business fucking lawyer out there is trying to figure out what can we do, what have we got going on here, and it's just a fucking nightmare. My boss lost his business. He was going to do a composting business on the side, and because the co-owner that he had didn't file the paperwork, the paperwork wasn't filed within this 14-day window. So they won it. They got to restart it. They imported the largest sifter grinder for compost in the nation for this, and the guy that signed over on it, he's going to probably get it. And he already runs composting on the other side of town. He's probably going to ship that on over there. But I feel bad for my boss because he got fucked.
Yeah, that's sounds like literally what happened to the only real game store. I mean, like we have game stores, but like an actual RPG game store, the only one we had in town, Another World, which was, I'm surprised it's still on the map because it's been closed for well over a decade now. They pretty much had the same thing. One of the owners neglected his job as an owner to the point that the building got shut down. I mean, it didn't help. The owner of the building wanted that building back as she wanted to turn it into a fine dining restaurant in the middle of Hillbilly Hill.
That's usually death.
And, well, needless to say, after she tore the building down, it has not been rebuilt. There hasn't even been a foundation put down.
East. Moscow and Pullman are booming because they're college towns. Okay, that explains everything you were saying earlier. Yeah, we've had a few game store friends that they've lost everything because things didn't get filed right, and that collapses your entire little community of gamers very quickly.
Yep.
Peoria has been really lucky in that aspect. They've got one game store that's really good. They've got a couple others that are coming up. I don't know about the other ones just for fun, because I moved out when Just for Fun was like the Peoria game store.
It still is. And there's a few alternatives if you're more into CCGs and board games, but there's a store in Washington that is going pretty good. There's a store in Bartonville if you like CCGs and a little bit of gaming. I still miss Beyond Eternity out in Farmington, but that one closed due to taxes a long time ago. Zeke's has taken over the game room spot. Just for Fun is, well, I don't care. I've stopped now at several game stores that are bigger and they look more flashier than Just for Fun. But when I look through the stacks and I realize Bloomington's game store is more, it's flashy. It's gaming as a lifestyle. It's gaming as a lifestyle, not gaming as a hobby. And I want to play my games. I don't want to live them. I don't want to have. I don't want, like. Yes, I'm a gamer, but I don't want to. I don't want to have. Well, do you have themed dice bags? Do you have stickers all over your laptop? Like, no, I don't need to advertise to the world that I play role playing games. And if I do, I'm going to slap it's going to be in my backpack, which is a nondescript backpack because, well, all of the themed lifestyle backpacks tend to be too small. They're very kiddie friendly. Meanwhile, I'm wanting to carry a small library with me, and so I need a seat bag, or I need a gaming bag that's got lots and like it's in the upper end of the leader range without having to go to an A-frame, or I needed it all to fit in my leather leather courier bag because I want to at least go to gaming with some dignity. But no, we need rainbow dice bags and boxes so every dice has its own foam special insert so you can show off. This is my gaming. These are my math rocks that are of special quality. Meanwhile, I tool in with a Plano box that's just loaded down with each bin is a different die type, and I just grab out of the box and roll the dice because I don't need to have. Well, this is my wind dice set. This is my tiefling dice set. I'm like, here's 4 dice. Go. Like, here's enough D6s to play an orc army. Here's enough D10s to play a White Wolf game. Or here's enough, and not just one White Wolf game. I want to be able to play Exalted with dice rolls and not a computerized dice roller. Wait, you have that many D10s? I have that many D10s because I want to play a moderately high level game of Exalted and then be able to roll all 42 D10s for my attacks. And be able to go, haha, I have this many D10s. Are you going to show off? No, I just want to have that many. So if I'm called, but since I also was a GM and am a GM for a lot of people, I need to have enough dice on hand because somebody's going to come to the table and go, I forgot my dice this week. And I need to be able to supply them with dice and still have enough dice for myself, and then pass out dice to the people who are new and don't have all the dice they need yet. And so I'm a dice I'm a dice hoarder, but I'm not somebody who needs to have. This is my $85 dice box that looks so beautiful. I don't need that shit. I don't need it. And that's the problem. Bloomington's Dice Game Store is definitely a gaming as a lifestyle, not gaming as a
hobby. You can't schedule a campaign there.
Yeah, and it's got room to play it, but it's got a coffee shop in its in the front part of the store, and I'm like, wow, that's cool but lame at the same time.
Hey Bruce,
Yep.
could you bring up the picture I just put in Gilded? I don't know how to bring up something on Rumble.
Okay. Where do I go in Gilded?
Memes. This is what you talk about, Kai?
Things like that. I've been seeing a lot of Kickstarters lately for these special dice boxes that have clear plastic fronts and molded foam for each die to have its own individual. Yes, it is worth it.
At least they kept the dwarven male the same as a female and the elven female the same as a male. That's good. Demon. Oh yeah, and all the females they're just different fucking colors. Fuck. 70% water and uncarbonated. Okay, so it's technically flat. We're gonna shoot him. Shoot him.
Oh God. The bad part about that meme about how all these demons and everything are definitely just the same girl with a different different paint.
Different color scheme.
Different color scheme. One of the games I'm playing, it is approximately 80% female. Is the group, giving them infinite options to play whatever the heck they want and any design they want for how their appearance is. Supermodels across the board. Orcs, tieflings. It's supermodels. It is supermodels with different skin colors. and maybe some horns, maybe a tail, maybe pointy ears, maybe glowing eyes, but it is supermodels across the board in terms of artwork. And at that point, I laugh to myself and go, I know we make fun of the meme, but it's real. It is
Yeah.
so real. Yes, honk. The brass knuckles.
That's fucking terrible. A geese with brass knuckles, I'm going to lose. A chickpea and lentil. I've never had lentil on my face. Wow. What was the thing, Jerry? God damn it. Boo!
Ow.
This is how I get it whenever people like, oh my god, I love Kai. Really? Have you talked to Kai?
Can you talk to me? I am not a nice. I am not nice.
Oh my god. That is San Antonio. Going to hell because I know exactly where that's at. And that cop is like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Moose got
And
my
here's
2.2
Travis.
million Scoville flaming anus chicken.
Yes. And yes, it is a bit mentally exhausting, but I will say that their choices to how to solve problems are. If anyone says it's only guys who go out there and play murder hobo or maximum destruction, no, that's not true. You'd think that it's a bunch of girls, they're all be friendly, talking. No, it's just catty with each other until a bad guy shows up, and then when the bad guy shows up, they all stop being catty, obliterate whatever it was that distracted them from themselves, and then they get back to their own murdering, their own plotting and cattiness, and they're having fun backstabbing each other until the plot arrives again, and then it's the Death Star beam again. And it's amazing how fast it goes from I want to kill you, I want to hurt you, and they're being friendly, and then no, they're not, but it's fun as hell. It's fun watching it from the sides and be like, dude, I'm just I'm just part of this nightmare, and it's great. It's hilarious watching these people just turn and nuke something with an efficiency that most of us guys are like, we're kind of autistically stat building. No, these people are like, no, we built characters that I'm like, are you sure you're just not a bunch of guys who are autistic? They're like, no, I know better. And they're like, no, they're like sitting here trying to like beat each other up to figure out how to improve their builds, and then they're tinkering, twisting, making it worse, crazier.
I'll be right
And
back.
And then you're sitting here going, what are they doing? Kill. And it's just, wow. Like, do you want to do anything, Blade? No, I do not. I'm going to stand here and watch. Why? Because I don't want to get in the way of a wrecking ball. Of not one wrecking ball, of 5 wrecking balls. Just boom. And then they go back to whatever the fuck they're doing. And the GM is just like, I just periodically throw, like, if they ever slow down, I throw some meat into the ring, into the area. The piranha court wakes up, destroys it, and then goes like, okay, we're back to being energetic again. And then the plot moves forward until the next thing and it's like, wow, they're cutthroat, they're brutal, and they're looking for more and more ways to destroy things more efficiently. We don't have a monopoly on violence. That's for fucking sure. They just put a veneer of pretty over it, and then the mask comes off, the Death Star beam fires, and then the mask drops back over. It's great.
I have I do have experience with female players, but I have nothing to add upon it because I usually find that, especially when it's the girlfriend who's playing, the woman becomes ultra violent and the man just goes with it, and then she blames him when it all goes wrong.
The thing here is that the situation I came into is this was an entire group of just women, and they're like, "You're a cool writer. You have a cool friend." I'm the token guy in the group. They're like, it isn't just simply, "Hey, I brought my girlfriend who may or may not be interested." I was the, "Hey, we're all playing D&D. We all are, and we all like the game. We know what we're doing, and we're all really into fantasy books. You seem to know a lot about fantasy, and you seem to know a lot about gaming. You want to sit in and roll a character?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll just play." Oh, okay. I don't need to play anything. I don't even need a character. I just need to stand in the background and be snarky, because whatever I play will be near nothing, nowhere near deadly enough to keep track of what these people are doing. And they're friendly. They're role playing. They're in character. They're constantly chatting. It's great. And then it's like, it's combat, and I'm like, I'm just gonna hang back and do absolutely nothing. Why? Because you guys were killing everything before I got here, and I'm not. And all I'm doing is adding flavor, and it's more like witnessing a natural disaster from inside the disaster as it moves forward. And I love every second of it, because it isn't just simply because they are so into their character. It's so into the character motivation, character storyline, character beliefs, ideas, pushing this other weirdness, and the stats are there. It isn't like when I sit with a bunch of guys to go play, and it's just like, my character will go off and do this thing. I'm going to go and, like, no. They've got fucking motivation and reason, and they will hunt things down with a determination that I find quite endearing, because I'm like, I understand your anger and your darkness, and it's like, it's refreshing to see people actually going, like, you know what? Fuck that guy over there. Do we have a reason to fuck that guy over there? We don't need a reason to fuck that guy over there. We just don't like him. And I'm like, this is what we used to call murder hoboing, in other groups. And I go, oh no, we know what we're doing. It's just that we know that guy, and he fucked with us a while ago, and we're just gonna fucking destroy everything. And I'm like, oh, are you gonna kill him? No, that's mercy. We don't do that shit. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm here to take notes. I'm here to provide emotional support as you guys kill shit, and it's fun. It is way more fun than sitting with some people who are over analyzing shit and going, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we shouldn't knock the door over, or maybe we should try to figure out how to lie. Can we think about the political ramifications of it? And the moment I go, maybe we should think about the political ramifications of what we're about to, and before I've even finished typing the sentence out, there's a fucking bomb flying through the air, towards the target, and it's already exploding, and shit's already hitting the fan. There's fire, there's screaming, and there's people being stabbed, and there's blood flying everywhere, and they are laughing and reveling in it. And I'm going, this is beautiful. Normally I make fun of this, but this is actually beautiful to watch, because they're murder hoboing, but they have a backstory behind it. And are they looting the corpses? No, they're not looting the corpses. They're like, fuck it. like we killed them. If we killed them, they didn't have enough stuff to be worth anything. And I'm like, wait, what? Is that your mentality? It's like if we kill them, then obviously they didn't have good enough shit. We don't want loser gear. We don't want loser gear. Check the bodies. Nope. No. It's all fucking trash. Let's move on. And I'm like, it's like, is any of it a gear upgrade? None. There's no gear upgrade. Leave the loser gear with the losers. And they'll just leave it. Just leave the corpses on the ground, bleeding out, dead. And like, they can die with their shit and shit. Fuck them. They weren't worth it. Like, they died. They weren't worth it. Maybe it's like if it's a guy who they had to fight 2 or 3 times, they might take their stuff. But they aren't just sitting here penny pinching for every goddamn coin, looking for for 400, looking for a used magic item shop. No, they're like going, no, we know what we want. We know what we're aiming for. We know what gear we want, and we're gonna go out looking for it. And I'm like, oh my, do you guys even care about money? And they're like, we have enough. And if we need money, we'll do, like, hey, loot their coin purses. And something like, okay, we got enough money to cover food, housing, travel, and medical and minor medical care, and they're fine. They're okay. Like, that's all the money they need. And I'm sitting here going, don't you care about like cash and shit and all that other stuff that like most adventurers care about? They're like, we'll figure it out as we go. And I'm like, oh my god, what did I find? A bunch of people who are utterly goddamn ruthless. That's what I found. It's just like, they're ruthless people. They just happen to have tits on them. That's the only difference between them and guys. And it's beautiful. And I love every moment of it. It's like we all work shitty jobs, and this game is their way to murder everyone. And I'm like, I love this. Is it exhausting? No, because I'm not at the helm of this nightmare. I'm just tagging along for the lulls. And the GM every once in a while, she's like, "Are you needing like do you want to do anything?" Like, yeah, I'll do shit on the side. I'm doing something like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm working on. These are the things I'm doing. Like, but you're not taking part in the combat. Like, do I need to? And she's like, no, you don't have to take part in combat. You're just here for the role play, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I'm just here for that. I'm just here for the character interaction and backstory and cool things we're doing. And they're like, she's like, I can work with that. And it is fun. Holy shit, is this fun? But then when I investigated further, I found out 4 of the 5 of us are all GMs. We all GM games elsewhere, away from this table. So we're all a bunch of rules lawyers who know too much and go, this is entirely everyone's I don't want to call it the vacation game, but it's the de-stressing game. It's the game of, hey, we're just gonna do stuff because we're tired of being the ones in charge all the time. So fuck it. We're gonna do every dark and evil thing that we want to do when we're GMs. And the GM of it, she's like, I understand. I too am also a GM. And then the one person who's not a GM in that group is like, I'm not a GM. I don't. And we're like, shut the fuck up. You know what you're doing. And she's like, yeah, I do. And it's like, but I just don't want a game. And like, okay, so we have 1 out of 5 people who are all game masters, and we're all playing, and we don't have to play nice. We don't have to hold back. It can just be as dark and sinister and evil and fun. And because we're not setting out to play an evil campaign. We're not saying, oh, we're all evil. It's all that, like, no. It's one of those things where if somebody goes, I'm going to do something bad, and we're like, I'm going to do something hostile, and then we're like, fuck it, kill it, because we're tired of having to be like, because we are diplomatic. We do have a lot of role playing. We are a bunch of people who have played White Wolf games, and we do know how to be social. We do know how to have fun, but we just all choose and choose to go. If it has to go kinetic, we're going to go fucking kinetic, and we're going to go loud, and it's going to be amazing, and we're going to set a fire so bright it'll be seen from space. And that's because we're not players who are like, well, we don't know how any of the rules work, so hey GM, can you tell me how Fireball works? No, we know how Fireball works. We know what meta magics work with. I work with with Fireball. We know how to stack the meta magics to make Fireball break the universe. We know how to destroy cities. We know how to summon tidal waves. Oh, Are we ninth level? Do we have certain spells? Okay, yeah, we know all this shit because we're forced to have to listen to players go, I don't know what I'm doing. We're the ones who are like, we're a bunch of people who are sitting here going, well, the DM, well, I can't do that because my players don't know how to counter that. No, we do know how to counter that. We know the counters to the counters. We're a bunch of assholes who are sitting here going, we finally get to have fun. We finally get to turn magic up to fucking 10 and then to 11 because we actually know how to stack spells and we're not just simply walking around playing dear cleric, what do you do? Squeeze a priest. I cast blessing of Furburger. I cast boop boop. I cast heroism. Boop boop. I cast, +4 to strength today. That's my spell list. I'm going to be the background now.
Fuck.
I'm going to be the background casting channel positive energy, channel positive energy, channel positive energy, and that's all I'm going to do. Or I'm going to play a paladin. No, we're like, no. If we're going to do magic, we're going to fucking do magic. Like, we're going to fucking play magic right. We're going to be like, we're going to walk in there. We're going to channel the power word kills and the harms. We're going to fucking just do...
No, Kai. No, I'm going to port over the fucking core rule book to my system, okay? All the spells.
Yes!
First to ninth. And then what we're going to do, we're going to skip Advanced Player's Guide. We're going to skip Ultimate Magic. We're going to skip Ultimate Combat. And you know what we're going to fucking do?
What's that?
We're going to port over Ultimate Spheres of Power. Ah!
Yes! That would be amazing! That would be amazing. If we would do Ultimate Spheres of Power, it would be fucking awesome.
Yes.
Because I want telekinesis to do cool shit.
Okay, Kai 20 minutes ago started on his bent of like, I hate the standard RPG games because it's the same table for millions of tables around the world, and it is it's this flow chart for like you have set number of bad guys, so the players pop out their flow chart of most optimized way to go through shit and churn out experience points and level up fast, and that's what it is. But Kai has that issue. And that's why he stopped playing basic ass Pathfinder. I'm going to need him in about 3 years when I finally get this fucking core rulebook ported over. Sorry. Anyway. You're like, what's Ultimate Spheres of Power? Well, funny you ask. We're going to explain that in 2 weeks. We're going to go on a fucking dive on that because that actually, it is written. Oh, God, no. Go!
Ultimate Spheres of Power and Ultimate, which has three different books to it, which handles marshals, casters, and sneakagets / talkie bastards.
Yeah.
Allow you to pretty much be as close to getting in a D20 system a free-form game engine that allows you to do crazy interesting things.
You know what? Every fucking GURPS player I've ever played a game with, they always say, in GURPS, I don't have to be a fighter. In GURPS, I'm not just hamstrung to being an archer. And then, like, if they play Rifts or if they play any other game, they start talking about in GURPS they get to do this. Well, with Ultimate Spheres, like, there's a lot of stuff there. Fuck. Hey, there's our buddy. Look, there's a copy link. Come here, Discord. Over here, Discord.
But,
yeah, and any discussion of Magic deeply interests me because I know how I want the basics of my Magic to work, but as it is right now, it's still very, very. Actually, it's stupid simple, but not in a good way. It's stupid simple in a way Kai could literally go, okay, I crashed the sun onto the Earth and I rebuild the planet, and now it's going to be made in my image.
But the thing here is that remember that the Magic systems that I enjoy are very weird, are very open, or they're very flexible.
Flexible as fuck.
Spheres of Power is like I'm like I like Exalted Magic where you have charms and then magic is crazy. I like the magic of Shadowrun, which is dumb but fun. I like the magic of Legend of the Five Rings, which is crazy. Like, it's simple until you realize that, oh, these spells kind of suck until you realize how the game engine works, where it's all about raises. And then you start to go, oh, so my spells come out of the box with options that make them either do more damage, go further, heal more, or
affect more people, have a wider range of effect, etc.
Yeah, and
that's kind of what the meta magic feats do for all of the Pathfinder stuff.
Yeah,
that never got expanded in 3.5 and 3.0.
But the thing is that 3.5, 3.0 gives you this, because of the horrible spell level system, you're trapped in the idea that, well, I need to boost the spell, like, so I want to cast Fireball with this level, with this and this and this add-on. Well, suddenly it goes from 3rd level and now it's a 7th level spell. And you're like, oh, this is garbage. Why would I want to cast Fireball at 7th level when I can have a 7th level spell which blows Fireball out of the water? Meanwhile, L5R, at least first, second edition, the editions I run, and you get, here's your Fireball spell. It's called Fires from Within, and it's pretty much Fireball, but it starts with, this is a mediocre spell, until you realize, oh no, it's like, and my character can cast this spell without failure because its DC is 10. I have 4d10. There's no way I can fail this. Until you go, okay, well, what if I say I want to increase the number of targets, I want to increase the range, I want to increase the damage, and now you're bumping it up by 5, 10, 15, and now you're looking at going, okay, so if I use this other skill, my school bonus and my other things, now I'm rolling 6, 7, 8 dice, and I'm keeping 6. So I'm rolling 8 dice, keep the highest 6. I'm rolling, and I'm rolling my focuses in, my charms and my and my spell casting and other tricks, and bam. Okay, I needed a 42. I needed a 40 to do this spell, and because I put 6 raises into it, bam, the spell is incredibly more powerful. And I rolled a 43. I barely made it, and then suddenly your pathetic spell causes 5 people to just explode, and you're like, now I feel powerful. You're taking a garbage spell and you're boosting it. I know that Pathfinder 2 and 5th is like, well, if you bump the spell level up a level, but you're taking up slots at that point. It's the horrible spell slot system that is such trash.
I fixed the spell system. I fucking fixed it. I figured it out.
I like yours.
I figured it out, and I made it to where spell points work.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You found a way to make it work. It's your approach is a great approach. But I'm also an Ars, but I'm a Mage the Ascension player. I'm an Ars Magica player. I'm a Legend of the Five Rings player. my idea of Magic being flexible, viable, and interesting is definitely a way to go at it. Your way is a great spell points are a way to go at it. I've heard people defend spell slots and spell levels.
I've never heard spell slots being defended properly because I've
I
never
have
agreed with it.
I've sat through several people giving their long treaties on why it works. It's the strategic, tactical. You got to plan ahead, and then your GM has. And I'm like going, you've had, but it's much like the problem that I had with David. Going, well, I mean, it's like if you have a good GM, and I'm like going, here's the problem. He's had good GMs, and since he's the guy who he's the author of his game, he's the GM. He doesn't play under people.
He doesn't play anybody else. He doesn't have the fucking Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, have had way too many groups. Way too many. I've had too many. I've had good ones and I've had the bad ones. I know where this can go wrong, and that's why I'm so angry, because I want good. I've only experienced mostly bad. Or worse, because here's the thing. I love the good. The bad is the bad can be interesting because pain is good, or fun at least. The problem here is that it's the middle, the mediocres, the ones who don't try, who only do the bare minimum, who are worse than the worst and worse than the goods.
Now I know how Kai feels about me. I understand.
The thing here is that if you go in and you put the minimum effort in, like here is the generic base bitch, rules as written, I have put no thought into this, I'm reading from the book, this is how the book works, and because somebody else did the thinking for me, and I'm never going to have better, never going to be better, but the book is right here, and that's all. I'm just going to copy somebody else's work, word for word, and that's going to be good enough for me. That's terrible. It's bland because every good GM I played under always wants something more, because every good GM, the bad GMs just do whatever the fuck they want and they're garbage. The bland ones are just the book. The codex dictates that this is what I shall do. I shall do. I shall never deviate from what the codex tells me. And the good GMs all realize every game is flawed, every game is imperfect, and nothing is good, so we're going to fix the good. Not bad is game is flawed. Bad GMs, game is flawed, I know it's flawed, let's abuse the rules and never fix them. It's a terrible experience. And bland goes, well, that's what the book tells me, blah, 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 and never improve. The good GMs go, game is flawed. How do I fix good? How do I make okay into good, and good into better, and better into amazing? Because you'll never have a perfect game engine. You just want to have a progressively improving, fun one. And if you have a game engine that malfunctions when you hit 12th level, and it becomes a chore to play, your game isn't good. Fix the game, don't start over. And what was that?
I would actually need a partner. Here's why. I like Pathfinder. I like 5th edition. I like using Hero Labs because the math, for the most part, is done with me. I have a math issue. Me and math are not friends.
Yeah.
I can tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
I can get you from the village to a castle to the next plane of existence back. Not a problem. Yeah. Well, we need math. We need, numbers to crunch. Crunchy. I'm like, I'm not that kind of DM. But I want you to be that kind of DM. Well, let me go give these numbers to Kai, and he'll go crunchy for you.
I'll go crunchy for you. But, I mean, the thing is, that's not a bad thing to say. It's like, saying that you need somebody else to help, that's not a bad thing.
Oh no, that's my flaw. I realize that
Right.
DMing is like I can tell a story. I can run with almost any fucking punch you throw at me. Well, here's a bunch of numbers. Uh, yeah, it's a bunch of numbers.
It is. And it's like it's fun when it's understandable and I can understand what's going on and it's great and I love it. But oh, it's just the simple fact that and the thing is that the one thing most games seem to get okay is martial combat or sneaking kinda or things but games but where the crux of things is what differentiates you from reality, what makes the game a fantasy. It doesn't matter if it's science fiction or a techno fantasy or cyberpunk or just fantasy, either low fantasy or high fantasy or historical fantasy or you know whatever you want to run. Is like what separates you. Stabbing, like I can stab a bitch with a fork in any setting. Like I can shank you with a screwdriver in every goddamn setting. It doesn't fucking matter. So putting on some leather, putting on some armor, and carrying your combat your combat screwdriver, I can do that anywhere in any game. What makes this game different from reality?
Well,
Is it Nazi werewolves? Is is it the resurrection of Nimrod from the Bible, who's now running around building towers and claiming the world? Is it is it transdimensional inns? Is it magic? Is it cyberware? Is it spaceships or whatever? Because honestly, Games Workshop sure the fuck isn't the end all be all of power armors and space marines.
I wish Games Workshop would just quit
Go
making
away.
a war game. Let somebody else that knows how to make a war game make it. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure Osprey could go to fucking town and
Yeah.
do it. Because wait, they already did. It's called fucking Oathbound or Oathmark, and they've got their fucking space sludge Necromunda ripoff, which is amazing to play and fast. And they've
Yeah.
got so many good games from Osprey Games, but nobody gives them love, and that pisses me off because everybody is so fucking Stockholm syndrome into I've got to get a fucking 1,000 point army for Warhammer and learn the rules and then fling d6s at my opponent because the game is shit and the elves always win, and there's no need to ever play.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
It's like I only play 40K because of the fact that occasionally when I'm at the school they're playing 40K. And since since the armies I used to play got donated to my friend, I just go pull out my old army, which he has added things to. As new codexes arrive, and he goes, it'd be cool if you had these new things, and so he would buy them and add them to the army because they're his armies now. I'm never going to get them back. I don't want them back, and I don't have the room for them. And so they're his armies now. And so that I show up and hey, cool. What are all these new miniatures in my old army? Oh yeah, this is what you can do. Oh cool, new options. And then I go out there and play the same old fucking tactics I played 20 years ago. And wow, they still work. What do you mean? Walk forward for a turn, shoot, walk backwards, shoot, walk backwards, shoot. And they're like, well, this is Warhammer. You're supposed to run into melee combat. I go, I play Iron Warriors. I walk forward with a shield. I'll sit down. I gun down all your fucking losers. Then I walk backwards. I gun down the rest of your fucking losers. And then my dreadnought in the background shoots your big guy. And hey, we're out of time. I have more kill points. I have 2 objectives, and I've won. Well, if it went on for 2 more, we don't got time to play 2 more rounds. I've already won this game. Iron Warriors. I'm out.
if I was to make an army in Warhammer, I would have an
I would
army.
rather play Oathmark. Wait, what?
Right. I would have an army that uses toasters as flails.
Okay, so you're looking at the Adeptus Mechanicus at that point, and you're probably looking at some of their weirder units that are more melee focused. But since the Adeptus Mechanicus has a problem where their fast movers that could get into melee combat are fragile because they're mostly a ranged combat army, and so running in with toaster flails would probably just end up being, which you'd probably have fun fighting another player who wants to charge in into combat. So if you're playing against an orc player or a nid player or against a Khorne or Slaneshi demon focused chaos army or an Eldar army that's playing more hey, I'm okay if they gave up the game. Fuck yeah.
They're
Just
The name
go
of
with
the name
their
of the
fucking
army
game
would be
sucks.
what would be the name of the army would be the Suicide Kings.
hey, cool.
Why does your commander look like Christopher Walken? I have no idea.
It's like the thing there is that I enjoy but I also played Necrons a lot, which are a slow, hard to kill shooty army. So it's like
Okay, Necron. Every time I hear Necrons, I hate to say it, I think of the Vin Diesel movies, Riddick.
yeah,
And I know he ripped it off of something else, but every time I hear Necron,
I know.
Oh, they're basically the space Egyptians.
Oh yeah, undead space Egyptians, and they're hilarious. And they're a slow moving monolith of death that just kind of walks towards you, then stands back up. As you kill them, they don't stay dead. They resurrect themselves, and then they keep on moving, and it's hilarious to watch them.
I think I might know Kai's reaction to this, but my favorite Necron is Trazyn the Infinite.
Oh god, Trazyn's everyone's favorite because Trazyn is Trazyn. He is the great collector. He is smart as fuck, and he does stupid shit. If you ever want to, if you like Trazyn, read the book The Infinite and the Divine, or get the audiobook and listen to it. It is worth the time. It is worth the money, and Trazyn is the only person who carries in his pocket Pokeballs with armies in them.
that's fun.
So he's having a rivalry with another Necron over the course of millions of years. Legitimately, millions of years. Like, their fight starts before mankind develops sentience. And they have it's two old men having a slap fight through history. And one of them making an odd note that there's these strange monkeys running around. And then while they're having in the middle of their slow motion slap fight, suddenly humans develop space flight. They're all flying around doing stupid stuff. And before Trazyn has even realized what's going on, there's now this guy called the Emperor running around in the Imperium. He goes, "Oh man, these guys are kind of garbage compared to the old." And before he knows it, there's the heresy, and now he's having to go do other things. And then suddenly it's the modern day, when the fight comes to its conclusion, and when this million-year fight comes to its conclusion, the two old men having a slap fight, look at each other and go, "Oh shit, this is an actual real threat, not a threat, not a oh hey look," because Trazyn fucks up something, and 2,000 years later, it's a Tyranid invasion that's now happening. Sorry, a Genestealer cult invasion now happening, and there's a religion based around his appearances. There was an orc invasion a few thousand years ago that no one cares about. The oceans have been drained. The world's now dying and miserable, and the whole planet's now falling apart due to imperial bombardment. And the two of them are fighting a primordial god in a cave. And one of them looks and Orican looks at Trazyn and goes, did you bring an army? And he's like, my dear friend, do you think of me so unprepared? I brought 5. And then pulls his Pokeball, and then pulls his Pokeballs out of his goddamn cloak, and then throws 5 complete armies onto the field to fight a god. And all of them are like, wait, because they're people he's stolen through time. Like entire armies of people that he's still stolen. And he's just like, I have all these armies, they're disposable. And these people are looking like, we're confused, what's going on? And then he, who has managed to because they're part of his collection, brain program them all to all think that he's in the important in charge one, and goes, see that guy over there? Kill him. And it is a hilarious book. It is worth every bit of it. And like I said, you'll find that Orican is hilariously dumb, Trazyn is hilariously dumb, and the rest of the Necron species is also hilariously dumb. But if you also want a Necron book that's actually kind of fun but somewhat serious, there's the Silent King series. Read those, and then you realize Trazyn's the outlier. He's the wild card that does stupid shit, while everybody else is being serious over here. And then you realize the Silent King is super serious, really awesome, and a badass character who would put up and who if Trazyn was to show up, he would be like, I'm going to kick your ass. And he's like, you have to realize you got to catch me first. Bye. Poof. Like, because honestly, any of us who've played trickster characters who are assholes who steal shit, Trazyn is your friend. If you actually care about role playing, Orican is there for you. If you care about actually trying to not destroy the universe and save your people, the Silent King series is right there. And they're all for 3 different flavors of how to play space Egyptians, but not, who are all crazy, and they are all legit crazy, and not like we're all stupid space Catholics, the Imperial Man, or hey, we're all Tolkien leftovers, Eldar, or hey, we're all a bunch of soccer hooligans, orcs. It's and no om-nomming if you're going to play mids. Oh, I'm sorry, and no rock and stone dwarves. Okay, cool. But I'm sorry I went on this vast tangent. I'm sorry.
We needed this.
It's late.
I'm happy. You got it off your chest. Crafting. I'm going to start wrapping things up. Crafting, before we depart, anything you want to say or anything you want to explore here before we shut down? And if it takes a while, go ahead.
No, as much as I would love to start asking questions about for both the game and the game we're playing with you and my game, Kai just made it clear he needs to get to bed.
Kai declared he has to go to bed. I apologize. I didn't declare that. He talked about that.
I'm declaring it because I have a flea market in approximately 5 hours.
A flea market?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I thought you were going to meet me. And I thought you were going to meet me tomorrow at the Irish Fest.
Oh God, is that down on Farmington Road?
No, it's over there on the riverfront.
Once I drop off certain people, and if I wake up in time after doing everything, I might actually try to get down there.
I know Jade's going.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, there actually was one quick thing I wanted to say because I forgot to say it earlier because I had my mic muted, so I didn't forget. I couldn't say it. I have my interest in playing Warhammer primarily because I like the miniatures, both proxies and GW. So it's more along the lines of I don't want my miniatures just to sit around and collect dust.
Don't worry. Most of us who play the game realize that our shit collects dust. I collects dust anyway. So
dear God.
Get one of those electric air blowers and dust your stuff off every 3 to 6 months. That's all you gotta do. Because let's be honest, you're only gonna play once every 3 to 6 months anyway, unless you have a game store in it. It has an active community.
I haven't seen. I
I
mean,
honestly think you're better off getting into an Osprey game. Frostgrave, Oathmark, anything like that. You don't need too many miniatures. It's skirmish level. You're getting almost the same bang out of your buck. You get to try more tactics, and they do scale up, but it's a much better system.
Well, you're also talking. You're also yeah. You're also talking to a guy who likes the idea of epic, where you would just have to play with even more miniatures.
I like to get one of those table built where it's like a pool table, but it's nothing but miniature scenery and whatnot. But that involves something I don't have much right now, and unfortunately, it's not time. It's called money.
Space.
I would say I'm pretty sure space has something to do with it too.
No, I live in a basement. I can clear out a few things, and I would have room.
It's a possibility.
I mean, it is. It's always a possibility.
You usually get home about this time, Connell?
No, today was just a rare day for me.
Okay.
I ended up in the hospital for
What?
issues. I tripped over my own feet and I fell into something, and the back molder, which was already slightly, rotting out. I tripped and hit my face just right and broke it in half. I'm having a week, having it just a year. But I got a new car, which I really enjoy.
This is the Subaru,
The Subaru Forester 2019.
the official lesbian mobile.
I don't care.
Oh, it's fine. You got fat fingers.
I do. Actually, not really. I have pliable fingers. Yeah. Shit, do I have anything
I
going
got
on?
fiddle fingers.
Oh, you got okay, Bubbles. Yeah, sometime in September, I'm having Mike Wellers from AP Cigar Lounge down in Alton, Illinois, who has such products as the Peacekeeper and all the different cigars that comes with that. I'm interviewing him. He might be my very first sponsor of the cigar brand. So dreams do come true if you hold them close to your rotten, blackened, filthy heart. Wait, that's just me. Say maybe Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say that in January of next year, the next Jim Butcher audio book is coming out. So if you're a Jim Butcher fan, go pick it up. Give that man some love. No, he's not sponsoring me either. If he would, that'd be cool. That would even make Bruce slightly jealous.
I need to get back into it. I'm waiting for the next book to drop, so now I have 3 books to read, and I will read all 3 probably within a week because they're usually that good.
Chris would probably stop talking to me.
No, he won't.
It's like, how did he pull that off? I don't know. Stupid luck. Yeah, Kai is falling asleep. It doesn't count unless you pull Bruce and fall asleep underneath the table there, Travis.
Yeah, you have to pass that on the table, Kai. So with that, guys, we're going to get out of here out of just politeness to our guest, Kai. And thank you for everybody being here. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for the 10 people that were watching us on Twitter at one point. Appreciate each and every one of you. And we are out. Have a great continuance of your weekend.
Take
Night,
care.
everybody.
Good night.
Almost as good as Bruce falling asleep on stream. Yeah, nothing really will beat that.
On Legion of Myth.